From the heart of the Twin Cities, where the lights shine bright and the hits come harder. Welcome to rainy Minneapolis and UFL Coast to Coast, live on BFN. Tonight, the undefeated 2-0 Dakota Rhinos charge in enemy territory to face the relentless 1-1 Minnesota Chippers. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, alongside my partner, John Warren. My name is Eric Vinson, lead co-founder Cameron Irvine back at BFN HQ to bring us this lovely event here from rainy Minneapolis. John, it's raining cats and dogs out there, but it should be a great matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, lots of rain, but hey, these two teams had amazing games last season. Close games, hard-fought games. I'm excited to see both these teams. Rhinos looking really hot. Look at every bit the defending champs that they are. But the Chippers, they had a limp loss last week, but they got a chance to run it back and take it to Dakota.
Certainly here at home and certainly in the elements. We'll have to see how both these teams respond as the hometown Chippers will get the opening kickoff to get things going here in Minneapolis. We'll get a touchback. Ball come out to the 25-yard line, and we will see Doug Falk at the helm, number 12.
It's raining hard here.
5-step drop, far sideline, a little too far for intended target, Ransford Morgan. And that'll give us an opportunity to look at the Chippers offense here, John.
Yeah, they've got some talent here. Rob Noel was shut down last week by Salt Lake, but he is typically a very strong back, and Dalton Brown as well did not have the best week last week. But Doug Falk and these running backs, they can put something together here.
They're going to go empty set here on second down, so keep the ball in the air as Doug will find his intended target right around the 30-yard line, advance the ball past to the 35.
Yeah,
that's going to be a first down.
Trey Deuce, a little too aggressive going for that ball. Probably just should have wrapped up. That's why Minnesota was able to get that first down.
First set of downs for the Chippers. Falk with plenty of time. Eventually takes off and run. Not a mobile quarterback, but man, Doug Falk running out there, hitting midfield and hitting a stride for 14.
Nuke Raiden kind of pulled up, decided not to lay a huge hit, but damage was already done. That is a big run for Doug Falk there to get to first down, and they're at the midfield stripe.
We'll see him take off and run from time to time, but he's certainly not a mobile quarterback like some of these other ones like Zach Holdorf and company, as Noel picking up where he left off last week with some trouble getting out of the backfield.
Yeah, I got a lot of trouble. Provost there back to wrap him up before he could get anything. Lost a 2 on the play. Just a steady runner, but just looked inconsistent last week and not the best first carry he could have asked for.
Yeah, and the offense as a whole, just very inconsistent last week. 3 field goals, no touchdowns, and 4 red zone trips in a 22-9 loss to the Miami Pirates. Second and 12, back to the ground game. That's much better. As Noel still on top of bodies, he's going to get maybe a half a yard extra, and that'll make it a 3rd and 3.
Yeah. Nice little run there. Able to get behind the blockers, make some extra yardage happen, putting his shoulder down. This is a totally manageable 3rd and 3. Let's see what they drop. Empty set.
Falk to the air, near sideline, catch made. Just a little stop route, and it worked beautifully as A.J. Higbee actually makes the catch there for the first down.
Yeah, no, that's a nice play. Just go to Dalton Brown, get that first down, move, keep the sticks moving. Don't get too aggressive with it. This is going to be a long game. Dakota can absolutely put points on and shut teams down, so play it a little conservative. Just keep the downs going.
And you were absolutely right. Dalton Brown there with the first catch of his evening. Advances the chains inside the 40-yard line, setting up shop at the 38. Back to the ground game. Noel getting buried up in the middle of that defense. And while we have him on him, let's take a look at that Dakota defense. And man, it's vicious.
Yeah, it's the Fister trio up front. And these linebackers are no slouches either. Nuke Raiden, we've already called his name. Trey Deuce called his name. Lots of great players on this defense. It starts with that front 3 with those tall shoulder pads. This is old school throwback, scary silhouettes up front that the Chippers are going to have to deal with.
And rounding out their roster this week with the signing of Jacob Morrison and wide receiver Doug Day, who we'll see in a little bit. Tyler Falk near sideline, another good catch, solid catch, and another first down for the Chippers.
That was a good catch. I didn't catch the number. It looked like Isaiah Moody there, toe tapping the sideline. And that was a really nice catch. Sure-handed. Those are going to be tough in this rain.
Noel, big gaping hole inside the 10. He's going to get a first and goal for Minnesota.
And that all started up front. These blockers opened those run lanes. That was an outstanding scheme. And Noel just finding the hole, not even second guessing it, gets past the 10-yard line, setting the Chippers up for first and goal.
He's got some of the highest vision, best vision in this league, as he'll get the carry here, and that vision didn't really help him with a whole bunch of bodies in the middle of the field. Second and goal coming up.
Yeah, that was looked like a blown blocking assignment a little bit downfield. Caused that to be an easy wrap up for Dakota.
From the 8, first carry of the evening for Dalton Brown, and he'll get a couple extra yards, make it third and goal from the 6.
Yeah, there's a lot of options here for the Chippers to draw up. Michael Joseph, a bigger target to throw to tight end. We'll see what they decide to do.
Press coverage for the Rhinos on defense. Doug Falk, pressure in his face. Flag is on the play. He's going to get sacked. And we'll have to see what the penalty is all about. It's going to be holding. Doesn't matter.
Sack should stand. That's Mordecai Pfister's first.
And so now a 29-yard field goal attempt here to get the Chippers on the board. And that is up and through from Brennan Morgan's foot. And the Chippers have the first points on the board. And we have our first bingo numbers of the evening. Hopefully it goes a little bit better than the game day call. Productive drive to start things off here, John. Minnesota getting points on the board. Dakota, first crack at the football.
They had no issues getting field goals in their last game last week against Miami, but that was the problem, is that Miami really shut them down to those 3 field goals, and that was it. So, yes, while the Chippers got points on the board, that's a good start. Dakota is known to put some points up, so they're going to have to start converting those to touchdowns, I suspect, if they want to hang in this game.
Very good point, as we'll get a short kickoff. Fielded inside the 10 and up across to the 30-yard line. And that is where we will see the Rhinos offense take over.
Billy Flagg has had a huge couple of games.
Oh, and a big start to start things off here from Liam Seitz.
Here we go.
Looked like the blue ski parted out there, John.
It did. Up front, those blockers did a great job opening that lane. And you never want to see a guy as big as Liam Seitz running at you full speed ahead, 222 pounds. He's a tough runner to bring down.
Check. Watch 54.
So one play, one first down here for the undefeated Rhinos. Flag to the air for the first time. Wide open is Seitz coming out of the backfield, and it's going to be another first down.
I mean, Seitz is a downhill runner for sure, but you can't just ignore him when he drops into the middle of the field like that. I mean, just no one covering him. Looks like there might have been a zone assignment attached to him, but just outran the coverage. Easy pitch and catch for about 15 yards. Maybe closer to 20, actually. That was a great call by Dakota.
Sure, it was one of those situations where Billy Flagg's eyes, they just got really big, seeing how wide open his main back was in the middle of the field. From Minnesota territory, Flagg on first down. Going to check it down towards the outside. And just a couple of yards there as we get a look at this Dakota Rhino offense.
Yeah, lots of talent up front here, blocking for Flagg. Billy Flagg has a lot of options here. Jake Riley, Mike Coco, Tony Horn Jr., and of course, Doug Day. I mean, these are just outstanding players the flag has to choose from.
We mentioned the newly signed Doug Day rounding out the roster for Dakota, as good defense there from Minnesota, making a 3rd and long. And we're going to look at the Chippers' defense here.
Yeah, and, you know, some talent here too, right? I mean, obviously Joseph Alexis, really talented player on that line. Frank Castle as well. They've got some talent here. I love these I love these linebackers in the middle. We've called their names. Randy Tremaine, unclaimed player, last week had a huge game. So definitely some talent here. They're going to be challenged today.
First challenge of the day at 3rd and 7. Flag going to take off and run. Good pursuit there, and you talked about it. These linebackers for Minnesota making a good play and forcing the 4th down.
Yeah, that was a really good play, and this is where the Chippers probably ought to be excited. I mean, you know, they get that field goal, maybe a disappointing outcome, even though it's points on the board. This is where I would feel pretty good, right? I mean, it's probably too far for A.J. Horn to come out and attempt a field goal, especially with this rain. We'll see. But the 4th down is coming. Yeah, they're going to attempt a field goal, but it's not a... Oh, no, they're not. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to go
goodness.
for it. And they're going to run the play fullback dive, and it looks like they just got enough to move the sticks, so Dakota will keep possession.
Nice. That was a good play call. Just get what you need, fall forward, keep the sticks moving. Now Flag's got nearly a red zone opportunity here.
Has picked up in free agency in the offseason from Houston, one of the best fullbacks on the market. And a 4th down conversion for him as we bring up 2nd down here off of the no gain on the initial carry. Flag to the air, just going to check it down and finds his big target, number 84 there, the tight end Tony Horn Jr. It's hard to miss him.
Very hard to miss him. You just don't see too many offensive players that are on that line that are over 250 pounds. Tony Horn Jr., 6'4", 250, just one of the biggest targets in football.
Now another 3rd and 7 for Dakota. Flag will throw it this time, finds a wide open receiver and catches it past the 10, inside the 10. 1st and goal off of Mike Coco.
Yeah, big man Mike Coco, 6'4" receiver. Just easy money here, just past that zone coverage, open, soft zone right there on the near side of the field. Turns upfield, gets it a couple extra yards. This is going to set Dakota up with a 1st and goal.
Now another opportunity here for Minnesota to possibly get off the field. They have had their opportunities, just cannot get off the field. Flag on 1st and goal, throws end zone, almost threw an interception. That would have been a huge turn of events there for the Chippers defense.
Yeah, Jerry Morton kicking himself that he didn't come down with that. Ball slipped out of his hands, but he was able to get in front of the ball, break that out, prevent a touchdown.
2nd and goal from the 9. Inside a minute to go here in the opening quarter. Flag, 7-step drop. He's just going to take off and run. Linebackers closing in, and Flag will slide wisely at the 4-yard line.
That was a harrowing little run, but got a few yards on the play. It sets him up 3rd and goal from the 4. Might be the last play of the quarter.
3rd and goal. Flag throws, end zone, catch is made. Touchdown Dakota. Tony Horn Jr., 1st touchdown of the game for the Rhinos.
Love the play call. Get the big man in space all alone. Drive all the other receivers to the near side of the field. Throw it far to the awaiting Tony Horn Jr., 2nd catch of the game. This one is worth 6 for the Rhinos. Good opening drive.
Great opening drive. Great answer for the early field goal that Minnesota was able to get up on the board on their opening possession. Extra point up and good. Dakota taking a 7-3 lead. Folks, I know a lot of you guys have been asking, so you can get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. A Printful partnership, all made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com. 29, 3, 4, and 7 now your bingo numbers. We're looking for horizontal bingos tonight, folks. Hopefully the bingo gods look down upon you and smile.
What are the bingo gods like? You think they're pleasant?
I mean, sometimes they're pleasant to me. Most of the time, they're not.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Kickoff and return out across the 20-yard line. Minnesota going to run one more play here before we hit the end of quarter number 1. Both teams with one possession. There's Doug Falk with play action. He wants to go deep. He uncorks one near sideline.
Wow!
What a great pick. And a great way to end the quarter. Rick Kuhn with the interception to give the ball back to the Rhinos as they are up 7-3 over the Minnesota Chippers. You're watching UFL Coast to Coast on BFN. Eric Vincent, John Warren here in the broadcast booth. League co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ as we start off the second quarter here with a carry from Liam Seitz and a big turnover for Dakota to really swing the momentum.
Yeah, I want to go back to that. I mean, it's just, I don't mind taking chances, right? You're going against the defending champs. You're at home. You're feeling it. Not a great player in Rick Kuhn to test downfield. He's such a fast corner, and he just had his eyes on that ball the entire time. High pointed it. Great pick. I mean, absolutely wonderful effort from Rick Kuhn. I question the decision a little bit, and now the Rhinos have got the ball back.
Now they're faced with another 3rd and 6 or 7, this time 6. Flag to the air. Gonna throw and finds his target, Coco, inside the 50, and they're in Minnesota territory.
Yeah, Coco's starting to feel it. He's just in a rhythm right now with flag, and that's not a good player to start feeling momentum if you are a Chippers fan, because he can just really wear you down. And not only that, if people are focused on him, it's not like there aren't other, 5 other targets that Billy Flagg can hit that can really, really kill you.
Seems the Rhinos have all sorts of momentum on this side, on their side now after the initial touchdown drive and now a turnover, hoping to capitalize off of that. So we get a catch along the far sideline. That's going to be good for about 4 yards. It'll bring up second down.
And this is the strength of the Rhinos in kind of a nutshell. I mean, we've got Billy Flagg. He's so efficient, 688 yards through 2 games, no interceptions. It's just hard to prepare for a player as good as he is.
Flagg gonna find the big tight end once more. Had a couple catches on the initial drive, including the touchdown, and that'll advance the chains. Doug Day, by the way, with his first catch in the UFL, so that's obviously very important to point out as the newly signed Day making his mark with the Rhinos. Back to the ground. Seitz, good spin move there.
Oh,
he
my
is
goodness.
so fleet of foot for a guy his size and those pads that size.
Yeah, you would think those pads really affect your agility, but really it's just like a refrigerator and a gazelle kind of all wrapped into one. Scary player running downhill or between tackles.
Blitz coming, picked up. Flagg throws a little bit too far for the intended Doug Day, and it's going to bring up 3rd and short.
That's really the only inaccurate pass I've seen him throw today. Just a little bit too far, a little bit too much air under it. Receiver was open, could have come down a little bit with it. He would have had to toe tap, but it's just he could have that one back, but he's still having a great game.
Seitz to the ground game, picks up the first down and more, gets close to goal-to-go scenario, but it's going to be a 1st and 10. They'll set it up right at the 10-yard line.
And it's not good that he's getting, 1, 2, 3 yards kind of untouched on almost all of these runs, because he's a player that when he starts to get ahead of steam, he's just really tough to bring down.
Well, and it's been really good blocking up front here for the Dakota offensive line. I mean, there's been gaping holes for Seitz to run through, and you kind of need to with those giant pads.
And the Chippers have got a good line, but, they just haven't been able to get much pressure at all or get into the backfield to try to stop this run.
Flagg to the air on first down. He's going to take off and run off tackle. Had an open receiver there. Cuts back up and gets walloped near the 5-yard line.
I got popped, and by the time his receiver realized he was going to run for it, he was too late to pick up that block. So a little bit of miscommunication there. Flagg probably should have waved him upfield, but be that as it may, he's still got a few yards on the play.
Brendan Allen with the tackle, Seitz with the carry, and sure enough, it's Allen once more with another stop. Short gain, 3rd and 4 coming up here for Dakota.
Similar position from last drive. Let's see what they draw up. If they go back to Tony Horn Jr., if they go somewhere else.
A little bit of a different formation this time around on this 3rd and 4. Flag. Throws. Oh, easy as you
money.
like. Touchdown, Dakota.
Easy money. That was to A.J. Higbee, unclaimed running back that just breaks out into that slot position. That's just easy. Easy pitch and catch.
One-on-one coverage from Jerry Morton. Just a simple hitch route there, and Higbee just wide open to make the catch.
Yeah, not a lot to do about that if the formation just wasn't, that matchup scheme just wasn't matching. Easy. Flag knew it probably before the ball was even snapped where he was going to go with that. And that was an easy touchdown. So Dakota has had 2 very, very good-looking, easy drives here against a Minnesota defense we thought might be game, but so far has shrunk against the challenge a little bit.
Dueling 4-yard touchdown passes for Billy Flagg to start things off. One taking advantage of the turnover forced by their defense. And, yeah, you absolutely hit the nail on the head, John. All the momentum in Dakota's favor as of right now. Minnesota certainly not out of it as of yet, but they're going to have to get something going here, and that probably means they're going to have to go to the ground game with Noel.
Yeah, I would say so. They can't give up on that just because it didn't go well last week and it didn't start well this week. They got to try.
So we got a return out to the 25-yard line. And a brand new start for the Chippers as we get a look at Doug Falk's day. Pretty efficient thus far. Wanted the deep shot to his son Tyler. Ended up being an interception. And Dakota takes advantage with 7 points. Now down 11 are the Chippers. Start off on the ground. Noel, good spin move, slippery, and a flag on the play.
Oh, face
Gotta get a
mask.
face
Okay, I didn't
mask.
see that. Couldn't see that from up here, but we did see him kind of take an awkward turn when he was brought down. And yeah, that's a big mistake there for Dakota to give Minnesota 15 yards and a first down.
The football
But, you know,
gods giveth, they take it away. Rick Coon
Exactly.
with the interception, and now the penalty.
Exactly, but you just talked about giving Rob Noel and Dalton Brown a chance to get something going here, and Chippers look like they're the game.
Noel off tackle, good space, and he'll get tackled near the 50-yard line. Already a much better productivity-wise stat line, 7 rushes for 36 yards.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. Just got to keep it going.
2nd and 3 now. Delay, Noel picking his way through the defenders, eventually gets tackled,
Patience.
but he will pick up the first down.
Love the patience of that carry. He didn't rush that. He didn't hit the hole too fast. Sometimes it's a little counterintuitive. Sometimes you don't want to hit the hole too fast because the defenders, you know, they go, oh, okay, I gotta get there. But if you take your time, kind of go at your own pace, sometimes it's better.
This one, a bit of a cluster to start things off. Nowhere for Noel to go and trips up on his own blocker. Picks up 2, though, bringing up 2nd and 8.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that slipping the more that this rain continues. We'll see if it happens throughout the game.
It is heavy rain here in the Tri-Cities area. As we go back to the
big
ground
hit.
game, Brown
Oh,
getting
boy.
mauled in the backfield.
I don't know what I would do if I don't know what amount of money it would take for me to want to get tackled by one of the fisters. I just don't. I don't know. I don't have that number in my head. I don't think there is one.
I don't think there is
So
either.
I don't envy these running backs that week in, week out have to meet this defensive front. It is just brutal.
7, 8, and 9 along that front 4. Avoid them at all costs. So after the TFL 3rd and 9. Falk throws a crosser. It's completed. Still on his feet. Almost got enough for the first down, but it's going to be a 4th and short.
Yeah, Labrice Rowland, unclaimed player, really nice effort there, but not enough. I appreciated the effort here, catching it, reversing field, breaking a couple tackles, trying to get that first down, could not quite get there. Just heavy traffic. So many Rhinos there to make the tackle.
Now we'll see. It's a 54-yard attempt. It is going to be a knuckler that is well short. No good. And Minnesota comes up empty on their second possession.
And I mean, this heavy rain, I mean, this is sometimes what happens to kicks that are this long. They just kind of get weighed down. And that just had no chance. You could kind of see it off his foot. It wasn't going to have the air under it to make it. And that's a disappointment for the Chippers, not only because they didn't get the points, but now Dakota's got a short field. And they can really do some damage with a short field here, starting at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, me personally, with a 4th and 2, I would much rather go for it in that situation.
I agree.
But,
I totally agree.
You know, if you're deciding between field goal or possibly going for it, I don't think punt is necessarily the option there on a 4th and 2. But yeah, at least try and go for it. Because if you miss the field goal, like we just saw, well, now Dakota's in a good situation here.
Right. Yeah, Dakota's kind of set up a business. That carry to sights did not go well, but this is just a short field for a team that has had no trouble getting it up and down the field, putting 2 touchdowns on the board.
Flag back to the air on 2nd and 11. Doesn't see anything he likes, tuck it and run, and he gets hit. Once again, Allen has been on flag watching duty, and he's done pretty well thus far.
He has. He's been spying Allen. I mean, he's been spying flag a lot. Brandon Allen has. A good middle linebacker for the Chippers, alongside a couple of outside linebackers we've talked about a couple times.
3rd and 6, wide open again. This route running has just been impeccable for Dakota. They're just getting off their defenders real easily.
It's been really special, and it's even more impressive with the conditions on the field, right? When you're getting these change of direction, these little stop stutters, these turnarounds, these curl routes, it's really, really tough to get your cleats kind of dug in to the ground without sticking when it's this wet. And these receivers have just done a wonderful job attacking that same safety too, Morton. That's a big
play
hit
for Minnesota. Yeah, we love to see that. Frank Castle getting in there and making
Frank Castle deciding to put his stamp on that.
Been a quick first half, and we hit the 2-minute warning here in Minneapolis. Dakota up 14-3 as you're watching UFL Coast to Coast on VFN. Eric Vincent alongside my partner John Warren, league co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. 2-minute warning here in the Twin Cities as flag going to take off and run once more. Picks up about 6, and clock will continue to roll on 3rd and 5.
I gotta say, when flag goes into that slide, it looks like, you know, when Kermit the Frog gets real excited, he kind of waves his arms around. Kind of looks like that. But, you know, big and strong and athletic.
3rd and 5, flag going to take off and run once again. He's got a receiver down there, and he actually runs out of bounds, short of the line to gain. That was a decision. So now 4th and 2, and the clock stops.
Clock stops, 4th and 2. They are at the 31. They're going to go for this. They're going to send AJ Horn out there to see if they can convert.
48-yard kick, and it is barely good. 17-3 now the score. 48 yards for AJ Horn.
That was close. That would not have been good from 49, I don't think. And that was maybe got a little lucky burst of wind. But the Rhinos now up 14 points, minute and a half left to go in the half. And that was, you know, listen, if I'm Minnesota, I'm taking any sort of momentum swing I can. But to be honest, that was a series of mistakes, I think, from Dakota. A couple of runs from flag, I think probably could have been passes. Flag runs out of bounds, stops the clock. Minnesota's got to convert and really take advantage of that opportunity, though.
Absolutely, especially considering Dakota is going to get the second half kickoff, so points on
Yeah.
the board is an absolute must here for the Chippers with all 3 timeouts and a minute 24 to work with.
We will see what the Chippers have up their sleeve. If they can put something together here under 90 seconds left.
Doug Falk to the air, pressure in his face. He'll complete a catch out across the 40 and the 45-yard line to the 48. Joseph with his first catch and a first down.
Yeah, Michael Joseph, a player I expected to get targets before this point, but they're going no huddle here. That was good. That was a good conversion on first down.
Good decision to keep the defense out there.
Oh,
And, although
my
maybe not in this
God.
case. Doug Brown with the catch. It goes absolutely nowhere.
Trey Montgomery putting his helmet right between the numbers. They'll lose 2 on the play. That was a massive hit.
Check Mike, 99, Mike.
Minnesota still in the no huddle. Falk back to the air. Doug trying to find something. He's going to check it down.
what?
Far sideline.
Oh,
and
brother.
Michael Joseph gets the catch, but man, he probably shouldn't have. Timeout, Minnesota.
Yeah, that would have been better just throwing it out of bounds, to be honest. He had a lot of time, though, to make that play and decided to go check down. Problem with that is that by the time he got to the check down, the defenders had already sniffed it out,
30 base.
and they basically got 1 yard out of that play.
You got 3 down, 3 down.
Third and 11 now.
Now.
Falk throws. Catch made. Tyler
Decisive.
Falk with his first catch and timeout number 2 for Minnesota.
Let's go, let's go.
That was such a decisive play, and Tyler Falk, one of the best receivers in the league, at catching in traffic. Just, you know, when things get log jammed there in the middle of the field on the edges, he is just so good with bringing those balls down. And that's maybe the best single play we've seen from the Chippers today.
Minnesota going to need a little bit more yardage here to get in field goal range. Play action. Falk wants it all. Looking for Tyler, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, a little too much air on that. I'm not sure it would have mattered. The receiver would have had to high point that, double covered, down in the end zone.
Let's get off the field, D.
25 seconds, second down. Falk, pressure in his face, throws. What a throw and what a catch. Inside the 25 and near the 20-yard line. They'll have to see if they have enough time to get reset.
That was a laser to LaBreece Rowland. And it had to be a laser.
Minnesota timeout with about 5
5
seconds
seconds
to
left.
go. Opportunity to get 3 points on the board.
And I think that's okay. Like, I think if you end with some points on the board, that's a win. That's some momentum. It's not what you want, but it's the more likely scenario than trying to get a touchdown from this point in the field.
38-yard field goal. And it is up and through. So Minnesota gets points on the board to close out the half and make it an 11-point ball game here in Minneapolis.
And that was a good drive. Listen, the pace can sometimes help you. You know, if you're not going to really invest in the run game, if we're running out of time, you're going to call those no huddles. You're going to be more decisive throwing the ball. It might be a blueprint, right, for the second half of saying, hey, let's just kind of sling it, see what happens with these talented receivers, Michael Joseph, Tyler Falk. Just kind of make something happen. That was a nice series of decisive throws, though, from Doug Falk. His most impressive drive of the game.
And we talked about how imperative it was for the Chippers to just get any sort of points on the board to close out the half and make this a little bit closer of a ball game. Dakota will get one more play here before the end of half number 1.
I imagine they hand this off and go into the locker room up 11.
That's what they're going to get. It's going to be a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. And the clock has hit triple zeros here in the Twin Cities. Dakota up 17-6 over Minnesota. Very entertaining first half. 1 turnover. Ended up being 7 points in the favor of the Rhinos, and that's really been the difference thus far. Low-scoring game.
Yeah, low-scoring game. That turnover was huge, but also just Dakota. They just run such a clean game. Billy Flagg has just been outstanding so far this season. Really one of the best players on the field at any given moment. And he has just led this team so confidently. They've got so much talent on both sides of the ball. It's not surprising they're up 11, but Minnesota, they're going to give them a game in the second half. I can feel it. And we'll just have to see how close this gets.
DJ Kilgannon in the chat, breaking the Cardinal sin, saying it's weird to say, but bingo isn't too bad for me right now. And I think,
brother.
League co-founder Cameron Irvine is 100% correct. You're screwed now, DJ. So Dakota to receive the second half kickoff here, up 11 points. This will be a big defensive series here for the Chippers.
Absolutely. This is a big pivotal drive for both teams. And they will come out and start on the 20-25.
Billy Flagg, he's had himself a good night. He's run the football quite a bit as well. Taking off, getting those 5-6 yard runs that kind of keep the Dakota drives alive. He's also found receivers fairly easily as well.
Yeah, he has.
He'll go to the air on first down. Big throw and no one home. Looked like he was looking for TJ Horn, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know if that was really just a throwaway or just a little bit too much air under that, but didn't like what he saw.
From the gun, handoff to Liam Seitz. There's been good blocking up front, but a good play here from the Minnesota linebackers. That's Allen with another tackle. He's up to 7 tackles tonight.
Yeah, and we've seen Seitz's average go down and down and down the longer the game has gone. He got some big carries early on, was looking like he might have a really big game, but Minnesota's defense has tightened that part of their defensive strategy up.
Play action on 3rd and 8. Flagg going to take off and run, and he spins right into a defender in the middle of the field, bringing up a 4th down, and Minnesota will get the stop that they were looking for. Sean Barker with the stop.
Yeah, Sean Barker, a good wrap, was engaged with his blocker, but saw Flagg come by, grabbed his jersey, pulled him down, and that's going to force a punt here, which is a big victory, I would say, for the Chippers starting the second half.
Punt from Wesley, fair caught near the 30-yard line, mark it at 33, and we'll see Minnesota come out with their first possession of the second half. Rob Noel, much better showing here tonight, averaging 4.7 on the ground.
Yeah, I think that was a blip last week in Miami, and this evening he's had a bit more success, even against this really devastating Pfister front.
Little orbit motion, they'll go that way, and a good productive first down there, about 6 yards, going to bring up second down.
Yeah, I like that. That's Isaiah Moody there, fast receiver, getting out in that orbit route. Again, decisive throws. I think that's what Minnesota needs from Doug Falk to get down the field.
2nd and 4, RPO again, a little too much sauce on that one, incomplete. Looked like it was open though, John.
Yeah, I like the call. I like the call a lot. He was open, just inaccurate, a little bit too fast with it. But I love the call. You might want to pull that play out sometime again soon because they weren't ready for it.
3rd and 4, play action for Doug Falk. He'll throw middle of the field, almost threw another interception. Man, oh man, he got away with one there. Nuke Raiden was right there to make the turnover and dropped it.
Yeah, Nuke Raiden was just reading it the whole time. Reading Falk's eyes, kind of dropped back when he saw he was coming his way. And there's a reason Nuke Raiden is not on the other side of the ball. He's not a sure-handed receiver, but it was good enough to force a 4th down on a punt.
So 2 punts to start things off here in the 3rd quarter of play. Good punts, and it is brought out on the return past the 25 to the 27-yard line for a 13-yard return. Folks, next week on UFL Coast to Coast, Los Angeles visits Chicago before a championship rematch in Dakota between the Rhinos and the Talons. Monday in primetime, the Battle of New York sees the unbeaten Lightning face the winless Pioneers, who would love nothing more than to spoil their rivals' perfect season. That's next time in the UFL Spotlight. As flag goes back to the air, crossing route, catch made, about 5 or 6 yards. And that's to Mike Coco, second down coming.
Now, Mike Coco's got 4 or 5 catches at this point. That's 4 catches for 52 yards. He's had a nice little game here.
Flag has been very decisive. You talked about Doug Falk needing to be decisive and quick, getting rid of the football. I feel like we've seen that from Billy Flagg tonight, his counterpart.
Yeah, we have. Now, granted, I think Billy Flagg's got more options to readily go to, but it's not that Falk doesn't have those options. I mean, he's got some good options, but Billy Flagg has been just outstanding tonight.
Liam Seitz, nowhere to go. Surging up the middle was the same guy who got the sack on the drive before. Sean Barker making the stop.
Sean Barker coming up strong here on this drive, especially. Seitz is getting absolutely nothing. He's only got 33 yards and 12 carries. Like we were saying, that average just gone down and down and down since the first quarter. Chipper's part of that game plan on defense has definitely paid dividends.
3rd and 5, empty set for Flag. He's going to take off and run. Oh, they were ready for it. They were ready for it. Frank Castle with the sack and another stop for the Chippers defense.
And now this crowd is coming alive a little bit. The rain is falling. They're getting after the quarterback. That is just an outstanding individual effort from Frank Castle. Just, oh my gosh, just getting right there through that gap. Flag had no idea, just could not see him behind the other 2 blockers. I think Flag thought I could get around that corner and get something out of this, but Frank Castle had other ideas.
Second punt for Dakota here in the second half. A beneficial field position here for the Chippers to work with from their own 40-yard line, down 11. And they're feeling frisky. They've got an opportunity here to really narrow the gap.
Yeah, they really do. This is an important drive for Dakota to try to shut that door.
Doug Falk to the air. Gonna check it down to start things off. Finds Michael Joseph, and maybe a yard or 2 on that one, second down.
Yeah, Joseph kind of had to come back for that one, and because he kind of reestablished himself, he didn't get any of that forward momentum. Only got about 1 yard on the play.
He's set for the Chippers. Back to the ground game. Noel on his feet, stumbles. And he'll surge forward for maybe a couple extra yards. 3rd and 7 upcoming.
This is a big play for Minnesota. They've got to get a conversion here. Keep this drive alive.
Both offenses struggling to start this second half. 3rd and 7. Doug Falk finds his target. It's his son, Tyler. And that'll move the sticks for the Chippers.
What a play. We talked about his ability to catch in traffic. And that just absolutely blanketed by Rick Kuhn, who had the interception. That's great defense. And Tyler Falk's just able to just get his mitts on the ball, hold on to it tight, took a big hit from Montgomery, even though Kuhn had already wrapped him up. Really nice play from Tyler Falk.
More importantly, that keeps the Chipper drive alive. Noel back to the ground game as he surges forward for 3. Been a quick moving ball game here thus far in the rainy Twin Cities. 2nd and 7. Doug gonna check it out to Noel. Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. That was a great play. Noel been good on the ground through the air. That was his first catch. Loss of a yard. Edwards just all over that.
Looked like Jacob Morrison, the newly signed corner, first man on the scene as well. Slowed Noel down just a little bit. Now we got another 3rd and long for Minnesota.
Here we go. 10 Lobos.
Big conversion here.
Like maybe one-on-one coverage towards the top with Tyler. And instead it's going to be a screen and no opportunity to get that thing going to Dalton Brown. And now it's 4th and 8 for Minnesota.
Too much pressure on that screen, just did not materialize the way he wanted to. I agree. He had Tyler Falk on 1-to-1. Now they're going to punt this away.
Just when Minnesota was looking like they might have something, Dakota forces the stop. Decent return, too, out across the 20 to the 23. Both offenses completely stymied here in this third quarter as we've gone through halfway, and really no one has moved the ball down the field.
No, they haven't. This has been a slow second half. Last week it was all second half for Dakota.
See what they got here.
Oh!
Oh, just on cue, Doug Day with a deep catch and run, and he's got his first touchdown as a Rhino. 77 yards.
Oh, wow. Last week it was Mike Coco with the second half heroics with the big plays, and it's the brand new Rhino, like you were saying, Doug Day, streaking up the sideline. No one could catch him. Accurate ball in stride, and relatively quiet day for him so far, and then just explodes for a touchdown. That might be a backbreaker for the Chippers here. What a play.
Twinkies for the whole sideline as Doug Day celebrates his 77-yard catch and run. As we get a look at your updated numbers, over 50 off the board, 24 off the board. We got some good numbers coming off here, folks. So be sure to look out for any horizontal bingos you might have. So now Minnesota in a hole, down 24-6, midway through the third quarter. They got to get something going offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is Tyler Falk territory. We've seen a couple of good plays from him. Obviously, he was the target of the pass on the interception, the lone interception Doug Falk has thrown. But they're going to have to get aggressive. They really are. And they don't have a ton of time. They do have enough, though. Certainly enough time to get back into this game.
All starts with this drive right here with the return brought out to the 29-yard line. Reminder, folks, all bingo numbers will carry over to our next UFL coast-to-coast matchup. That'll be between the Los Angeles Aztecs and the San Diego Wildcats. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn on the call for that one. Stay right here on VFN for that. As Doug Falk goes back to the air, ill-advised throw, looking the direction of his son Tyler, and it's incomplete.
Right target, he was open, just an incomplete pass there. And the rain might be affecting some of these. He doesn't wear gloves, so that ball is slippery, we know that.
Carry for Noel, nothing doing. Surging linebacker play from Nuke Raiden, who almost had an interception earlier in the third quarter.
Yeah, Nuke Raiden's had a good game so far, and that was a great play to wrap up Noel fast.
3rd and 9 now. Doug Falk gonna check it down to Dalton Brown, who drops it.
Come down with it. Ooh, what a whimper of a drive. That is not what you want to see if you're a Chippers fan. I don't even like the play calls. I mean, that second down handoff to Noel, I don't know. And then that check down, that wasn't going to get a first down. Yeah, I don't love the play calls here. And I certainly don't love the execution.
Tough scenes if you're a Chipper fan. As Doug Falk, only 13 of 21 for under 100 yards and interception. The big hit will make things feel a little bit better. But man, Dakota firing on all cylinders right now with Billy Flagg just as efficient as you like. 12-15, 178 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you just don't see days like this very often from a pro quarterback, and Flagg just has been stringing those together. He's just had an outstanding season so far. Sights there with a nice carry to start, 6 yards.
Especially on nights like tonight as well. You know,
Sure.
it's rainy, it's nasty out there. It is a tough game to play. And you got Billy Flagg out there just hurling the rock like it's nothing. Sights with another carry. He'll get the first down and extend the drive for Dakota.
And that's not what you want to see if you're the Chippers, right? I mean, you know that Sites is going to start getting a heavier workload because they've got this lead a bit later in the third quarter. And now they're not really able to stop him. I mean, these holes are opening up a little bit easier. They're not converging on Sites as fast. Ooh, draw play.
Draw play. Sights gets buried near the line of scrimmage. Nothing
Big hit.
doing. Couple of yards.
Tremaine had a huge game last week and the week before, laying the lumber on Sites.
Fumble recovery for a touchdown as Sights stays on the ground, and he'll get closer to that line to gain. 3rd and 3 coming up. Minnesota's got to get a stop here.
Yes, they do. 3rd and 3. Lots of options for Dakota. Do you go Sites? Do you check down to one of your receivers?
Playbook is open on 3rd and 3, and it's an overthrow for Billy Flagg. So Minnesota gets a gift from the Rhinos and their star man Flagg. It's gonna be a 4th down.
Interesting. It looked like he had a couple of players going on a continuous slant route. They're both open, but just not a good accurate throw. Billy Flagg wishes he could have that one back. They were going to punt this away.
Yeah, we talked about it. He hasn't had too many of those throws tonight. He's
No,
been
he
very
hasn't.
efficient, but every now and again, it'll come up and bite you in the butt. So Minnesota with a gift. Fair catch called for and made north of the 20 at the 23-yard line. 2 minutes and change to go here in the third quarter. Doug Falk having a game to forget. 1 interception, 13 of 21. Not a whole lot of yards.
No, and he's just been inaccurate down the stretch.
He's going to keep trying. Oh, God. How many times have we seen that today from Duke Raiden?
I think that was actually Suki Padre on that one, getting his long arms out.
Oh, you're right,
there.
it was. Absolutely.
I mean, just 6'4" frame is so big. I mean, really a safety's frame. And lanky is all get out for a linebacker. You could see how that works to his advantage on that play where he batted that ball down from several yards away from the receiver to start.
3rd and 8 now following the couple-yard run from Brown. Falk lofts one, incomplete. Could have easily been an interception.
Easily been picked.
Trey Montgomery in there on coverage, and it's 4th down once again for Minnesota.
Falk kind of yapping at his players, but I mean, that's just on him. I don't know what he saw there, but Padre again there as well as Trey Montgomery, and they're gonna have to punt this away. Getting late at this point for the Chippers.
Very frustrating to see your quarterback not working the ball down the field.
No, yeah, I mean,
game situations like this.
especially because you only tried it really once. I know it didn't work out, but you got to try something, I think.
So another punt. Dakota with another shot at the football here in the third quarter. They'll set up shop from the 36-yard line, and we'll probably see more of that, man. Liam Sights. His average has gone down over the course of the ball game, but he's still been looking pretty good collectively as the Rhinos running back.
Yeah, well, we thought we'd see him. We might see him on a check down here, but we start with an empty set.
Pump fake for Flagg. Plenty of time. Throws the crosser. Finds the receiver. Finds a first down. And that'll keep the drive going right away with Jake Riley.
Yeah, Jake Riley, that might have been his first catch of the game.
I believe it was.
Yeah,
yep,
for
sure
14 yards. And, you know, it's such a luxury for Flagg to have this many receivers. It's the first time you call Jake Riley's name. Is less than a minute left in the third quarter.
Flagg near sideline catch. And out of bounds.
It's Riley again.
Riley again. 2 catches in 2 plays.
Big first down. Just the accuracy. Throwing across his body. Just knew Jake Riley was going to be right there. Perfect position for that ball. Riley with the speedy change of direction to get back upfield.
Dakota almost doubling up Minnesota in total yards at this point. 274 to 160 prior to that last play. Flag going to take off and run. Trying to find a little bit of space. He'll get dragged down near the 20-yard line, as that will bring us to the end of quarter number 3 here in Minneapolis. Dakota starting to finally find some rhythm here in the rainy muck of Minneapolis. Up 24-6 over the Chippers as you're watching UFL Coast to Coast on VFN. Eric Vincent alongside my partner John Warren. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. Fourth quarter getting underway with a flag run and a spin for a couple extra yards.
Guys, that spin bottom that first down, that was a really outstanding. He put his shoulder down on the run before and kind of dragged a defender a couple yards. This time he hits him with the spin move. Feeling it here late in the game.
Back to the ground game with Sights. Ooh, man, if he doesn't get bottled up right there in the middle of the field, it was going to be an easy score. Brings up a 2nd and 7 off of the 3-yard carry from Sights. Sights again, off tackle, trying to find a little bit of space to break free, but it'll be 3rd and inches upcoming.
3rd and inches, clock still rolling. They're at the 5-yard line. Empty set. That's interesting.
Here we see a flag carry. Instead, it'll be a throw, and it's another touchdown toss for Dakota. This time to Tyler Akins.
Tyler Akins getting involved. Boy, oh boy, this has just been an impressive game. I mean, listen, they're the defending champs. I mean, we shouldn't be that surprised. They're one of the remaining unbeaten teams. But the 2 games that these 2 teams played last year were so close, so tightly contested. I thought we might see that today, but Dakota just looking like the better team. I mean, we expected that. But the good teams like Dakota, they can really assert their will when they want to, and they have been doing that today.
Dakota up now 31-6 with 10:16 to go here in the 4th. And folks, we know that following the UFL action every weekend can be daunting. The best place you can catch anything you missed is UFL Highlights, debuting every Tuesday on VFN, giving each and every game the highlight recap you deserve. Catch the UFL this week on the Virtual Football Network. Lots of bingo numbers, and yes, they do carry over into the next game, UFL Coast to Coast. That'll be from San Diego for the Wildcats to take on the Los Angeles Aztecs, as Tyler Falk and Ramos Lim will have the call for you on that one. You won't have to go anywhere. Same link, same bat time, same bat channel here on VFN as Minnesota takes the knee and brings the ball out to the 25.
And now this is just chuck it up and pray time, I think, for the Chippers.
Bad, huh? Jeez, wow. Carry to Dalton Brown. That's a good start right there.
I mean, it's a good start.
Of the evening.
I don't know how you're making up 25 points with 10 minutes left on runs, but that was a good run.
I think the worst part of that whole thing was it wasn't Rob Noel, it was Dalton Brown getting the carry there. You would usually like to see Rob Noel, your star, back with that, but Brown able to be the beneficiary here as Doug Falk sails that one into the stands on the near sideline. 2nd down upcoming. It's towards the top of the formation, under 10 to go here in the 4th. Doug Falk. Middle of the field, finds his son Tyler. Into opponent territory and dragged down near the 40.
You just get him on those kind of corner routes, on some slants. Just get him out in space. You can pick up yards in a hurry. They're going no huddle.
Press coverage here for Dakota. Falk throwing a deep shot.
No
way over
one there.
Incomplete. I think he was going the direction of LaBreece Rowland on that particular route.
He was had a couple of good catches, but just way too far.
7-step drop for Falk. Pressure from his backside, and he goes down. Sack for O'Neal, and a 3rd and forever upcoming for the Chippers.
Blake O'Neal, you could see that from up here in the booth just the entire time. Individual effort, just pushing his defender, his blocker back until he was right there in Falk's face.
Plenty of protection here for Falk on 3rd and 19.
Good
He's got
blocking.
all day to throw.
All time.
He's eventually going to uncork it, middle of the field, and it is incomplete.
Wow.
I don't know what to make of that play. I won't even try to analyze that play there.
Yeah, well, it was an attempt for Falk, who again is one of the best receivers in traffic in football, but I mean that's rush hour LA traffic. I don't know what the plan was there.
Now 4th and 19, almost throws an interception. Turnover on downs for Minnesota, and Dakota will get the ball back with more opportunity to chew the clock.
And this has just been a dominant performance on both sides of the ball.
Billy Flagg's numbers on the evening, over 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. Really have only seen a couple ill-advised throws from him tonight in the rain. Now 1st and 10. Good surge up the middle by Castle. It'll be a TFL, and 2nd and 11 upcoming.
Yeah, big hit from Castle. Big hit from Castle. He's had a good game. If we wanted to look at a bright spot on this Minnesota defense, he has been able to get to the quarterback a couple times. He's been back there in the backfield. I want to give him his flowers. He's had a couple big plays. He has tried to keep this team in the game, but it's not enough.
Sites checks back into the ball game. Flag on the throw and is incomplete in the dirt. 3rd down upcoming. Looking the direction of Eddie Watson. 3rd and 11 now from the empty. Flag. Air mails one and incomplete.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? In the direction of Riley. I guess trying to just stick with the hot hand there, but
I mean what are we doing?
That was a strange drive sequence.
It was.
For Dakota
It was
with such a large lead.
I mean, they just don't need it. They can run this clock out. They can run some time off the clock, and I mean, if they're just going to chuck balls up, that's just, I don't know, interesting.
I think we lost 11 seconds of game time total on that drive, which is absolutely wild work for the Rhinos offense. But yet again, Minnesota gets an opportunity here to narrow the gap. There's still time. There's not a lot of it, though. And points are going to be at a premium here with 8:08 to go here in the 4th. Falk. Good protection. Throws far sideline to the stands. Incomplete.
Falk is now throwing under 50% completion for this game. He is just not having a good time out there.
Certainly a game to forget for number 12 in Minnesota. Run play for Brown up the middle. Doesn't get anything. 3rd down.
And Falk has had a good season up to this point. He really has. He's had a pretty efficient season. He had 1 pick coming into this game. He threw 1 in this game, but this game has just been terribly inefficient for him.
3rd and long. Falk, the pressure's coming. Thought it affected the throw, but still a completion to Michael Joseph, and that'll move the sticks for the Chippers.
I mean, it looked weird. It looked weird coming out of his arm. I know, yeah. It's wild. Looked odd coming out of his arm, but it worked.
No huddle. 1st and 10. Wide open. Double clutch and comes down with it at the 40-yard line.
Rowland has made a couple of good catches, but he made himself work for that one. I think he overcomplicated it a little bit, but was able to come down and get the 1st down right away.
Minnesota quick back to the line. Doug just going to take off and run with it. Wisely slides near the 30-yard line. Second down upcoming.
Wise slide there. This clock keeps rolling.
Jet to the ball. Jet to the ball. We gotta get this stop.
Under 7 to go. Doug in trouble, and he's going to go down. We were wondering when we were going to see a Fister sack, and it's Menachem that gets in there.
Menachem Fister there, right side. Just able to get back there super fast.
3rd and 10. Up for grabs and incomplete. Looking the direction of Tyler Falk, but that was a miserable pass.
Unbelievable coverage, though, from Nuke Raiden. Just blanketing him like a lead vest. And
that could have been pass interference as well.
It could have. It did look close.
4th down now for the Chippers. Falk throws and incomplete. Ball dropped loose. Dakota takes over on downs once again from the 39.
Here's some Boo Birds here in Minneapolis. And I don't really blame them. This has been a fairly inert effort from the Chippers. Trey Deuce knocked that ball out. Good play by Trey Deuce. Rhinos going to take this over. What do we think? Billy Flagg's going to start airing this out again? I mean, goodness gracious.
I know that's their bread and butter. They like to run that type of offense, but sheesh,
all right,
man,
looks like they're going to hand this off.
There's nice wide open spaces up the middle into Minnesota territory.
Well, that average is creeping back up, I'll tell you that.
19 for 77 on the evening. Billy Flagg has had a nice evening as well. Only 6 incompletions and 4 touchdowns for Billy Flagg. So it's been a nice game for Dakota.
Yes, it has. Just been dominant on both sides of the ball. And now we see the Fisters getting some love from this, from their own teammates. They know that they shut down the Chippers today. Suki Padre almost had that interception. Just a good all-around effort from this Dakota Rhinos team.
Lions with the carry for 4 yards there, and it does look like Dakota a little bit more satisfied to chew some clock in this particular game situation.
Right here.
Keeping it on the ground with Sights. Good defensive surge for the Chippers, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 with under 5 to go.
Yeah, I got twisted around there. Good coverage. A lot of Chippers there right away.
Looks like they had some defensive backs up there and run coverage. Marcus Ayadel off the edge. 3rd and 8. Flag to the air. Gonna throw far sideline. Doug Day.
Stays in bounds.
Stays in bounds too. Yes. And extends the drive. 3rd catch, had a 77-yard touchdown catch earlier in the game.
That is just what a day for him. A debut, 3 catches, 97 yards. And then just making a smart play here. The awareness of Doug Day. Truly one of the more intelligent players we have in the league, and knew he could cut upfield, buy himself enough time to get that 1st down and also get down in bounds.
Sights with another carry, only maybe a half a yard, and like Billy Flagg needed more weapons, more intelligent weapons to work with, right? Now he gets Doug Day.
Truly an embarrassment of riches. It really is. If you're a Dakota Rhino fan, you gotta feel good about this defending season.
Defending champions last season. Certainly look like they are cruising to a 3-0 start here in Season 2 of UFL action. Meanwhile, Minnesota, past couple of weeks have been weeks to forget, and they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what exactly is not clicking. 22-9 last week, and there's a good play. All right.
Wow.
Coming up there was Marquise Virgil. the corner on the blitz and getting a quarterback sack. So something for the home crowd to cheer about.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. Billy Flagg took a big hit. You don't want to see your star quarterback taking a hit like that when you're up 25 in the fourth quarter, but it looks like he got up okay. They're going to try to kick this field goal and extend the lead.
This one will be from 48 yards. As we near the 2-minute warning, the field goal by A.J. Horn is up and through to make it a 34-6 ball game with 2:05 to go here in Minneapolis.
That looked a little bit better than the one he kicked in the first half. Had a little more air under it. That would have been good from 50, 51 maybe. This rain continues to affect the ball, though. And now with 2 minutes left, just a little bit over, not a lot Minnesota can do here. This has just been a solid victory for Dakota.
And once again, folks, all bingo numbers, they will carry over to our next UFL coast-to-coast matchup. That coming to you from San Diego, as the Wildcats will play host to the Los Angeles Aztecs. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn on the call for that one. You certainly don't want to miss that. And for everything UFL, please visit the official league website at ufl.football to claim a player, learn more about the league, catch up on news and features, and dive into the leaderboards. UFL.football in partnership with Sidearm Sports. And so now Minnesota, they got an opportunity to really put some momentum together for next week. Like I said, gonna have to go back to the drawing board. 2 straight losses after a good win, solid win against New Orleans in week 1. So they've got plenty to look at and plenty to adjust.
They look good in New Orleans. I mean, they look good against New Orleans. They really did. And so there's a core of a team here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my
Malachi
gosh.
Pfister as we hit the 2-minute warning from Minneapolis.
I'm almost glad the camera cut away before we saw the end of that. Malachi Pfister putting all 348 pounds of him on top of Falk there. Ooh.
You took the words right out of my mouth. As Falk goes back to the air, he's trying to find somewhere to go. He's in his own end zone. He throws,
Oh my God,
and
they
it's
convert.
caught by Tyler Falk. They convert the first down.
Whoa. That was a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of time for Tyler Falk to make that route happen. No huddle coming.
I got you.
From just south of the 30. Falk will throw, and incomplete. Look in the direction of Tyler Falk, and that brings up second down.
Tyler Falk's had a good day, but really he can't be the only weapon, and sometimes it feels like that.
From the gun, Falk in trouble
my
again.
goodness.
Down he goes again. Mordecai gets in on the sack party. Each Pfister with a sack tonight.
And they've all been violent sacks. You know what I mean? I mean, they don't hit lightly. They hit hard. And now all 3 of them have a sack.
I think that's a Pfister family trait as we see a catch from Michael Joseph north of the 40-yard line with under a minute to go. And back to your previous point, John, I think you're right. It certainly seems within this Chippers offense that Tyler Falk is the only weapon that they have, even though that is not the case.
It's not the case, and you know, it's obviously we could look at the father-son connection, right? You know, and then go, well, maybe that trust is just there, right? Which I get. I totally get that. There are other players though that deserve them. And Michael Joseph is a good wide receiver. There are a couple of good unclaimed receivers on this team that I think are worth a look. But yeah, it's just been all Tyler Falk. And I mean, he is the best receiver on this team for sure.
Doug Falk near sideline.
Ooh.
They look in the direction of Tyler once more. But again, it's been great coverage here from all of the Dakota secondary. Jacob Morrison, the newly signed corner, in coverage on that one.
Yeah, that was good coverage.
Bang, 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 bang. Clear.
Falk on 3rd and 7. Middle of the field, wide open receiver.
Nice
Great
play.
move to get inside the 25-yard line.
Right on cue. That is going after Vincent and Henry. speedy wide receiver. I don't think he's even gotten a target in this game. And that was his first catch, and a big one.
And a big one to end the game. Billy Flagg, your player of the game, 4 touchdowns, completing 73% of his throws for over 200 yards. And it was another dominant Dakota Rhino win, 34-6 over the Minnesota Chippers. Dakota 3-0, Minnesota falling to 1-2. John Warren, your final thoughts, my friend.
Well, Dakota put up at least a touchdown in every frame of this game and prevented Minnesota from scoring more than 6 points. Listen, that's just about as big of a bottom line as you can get. This has been a dominant performance on both sides of the ball from Dakota. Billy Flagg, you know, if we can call it for the first 3 weeks of the season, I think he's my MVP. I don't know if there's a player that has looked better and more poised and having more fun out there than he is. He threw 4 touchdowns today. Absolutely gets my game ball, and I think he is absolutely the player to watch down the stretch if we're talking end of year awards. So really impressive performance. Chipper's got to clean a lot up, do some soul searching. They will be back. This is a talented team, but they got dominated today.
Billy Flagg up to 7 total touchdowns through 3 weeks of UFL Season 2. Folks, stick around for our upcoming UFL coast-to-coast game between the San Diego Wildcats and the Los Angeles Aztecs. That'll get going here after a short intermission. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn on the call. And as always, if you had half as much fun as we did, we had twice as much fun as you. Stay put. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more UFL coast-to-coast in just a moment.
This is the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Welcome to California, where two California teams are set to go to war today, followed by their two top 10 defenses from a season ago. It's the San Diego Wildcats hosting the Los Angeles Aztecs. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk, joined in the booth by Ramos Lynn. The commissioner, Common Irvine, is back at BFM Studios. Ramos, good early season tilt, and good evening to you.
Good evening to you. I think this is going to be a really good one, a battle of Southern California. I think for San Diego, they want to establish the running game early on in this game. For Los Angeles, mostly the name of their game for them for a couple seasons now has been takeaways. When the Aztecs can get enough takeaways, they can just stump people. Like, they can just boat race anybody that faces them. They're very good at turnovers. So San Diego, I think, has to protect the ball and run the ball successfully tonight.
And here we go as the Aztecs will kick it off to the Wildcats, donned in their own blue Aztecs white helmets, or excuse me, red helmets, red pants, and white jerseys, as the return is decent all the way up to near the 26-yard line, and that is where the Wildcats will take over for their first possession of the ball game, and it'll start with a throw here. They're actually going to tuck it and run. Will the quarterback up to the 9-yard line. Good opening statement by Ronnie Shanahan. Check that, not Ronnie Shanahan. Zach Holdorf, who's been known to use his feet today.
Yeah, quick decision for the quarterback. Nobody open. Look, first, second read, and just took off running.
They'll flip the formation and try and run again. No, play action. Shot the left-hand side, wide open near the 45-yard line and out of bounds. Good pitch and catch. Zach Holder kicking for the first time with Kayron Rucker.
Yeah, and that's the threat of having a really good running game, right? I mean, Los Angeles has to look for it, and they're peeking in the backfield. And looks like some sort of cover two there, and the safety was not in position to make the play.
Definitely playing a lot closer to line was the outside corner, and the deep safety just trying to play over top on that side allows for the big pickup, and now for the first time there'll only be one back in the backfield. We'll touch on the lineups here when we are able to run to the left-hand side. It's a gain of about 5 for Los Angeles, and Payne Price is the ball carrier. And here's a look at the Wildcat offense that has gotten them to 1-1 to this season. Of course, we mentioned Payne Price, who just had the carry. Kayron Rucker with the reception earlier. Also, tight end Ari Mills is one to look out for tonight as well for the Wildcats. And we have another pass here from Holdorf with plenty of time, looking near side. That is hauled in on the sideline, but ruled out of bounds. Only need 1 foot in the UFL, but he was already touching the white painted turf as we take a look at the Los Angeles defense, Ramos.
I mean, this is a defense, again, creates a lot of turnovers. The secondary is very good as well. Good tacklers on the outside, surprisingly good for Los Angeles. And that's, part of how they get a lot of turnovers is, forcing the opposition in 3rd and longs. This one is going to be a 3rd and 5, so maybe some sort of crossing routes here.
Holdorf looking middle into traffic, but caught for a first down. That'll move the chains as it's the wide receiver, Sir Jefferson.
Good protection by the offensive line. You can see the double team as well on the nose tackle, and just all day to throw for Holdorf on that one. Easy pitch and catch, and San Diego already in scoring position.
It's the risk what happens when you run cover 3. You're covering more of the outside and deep, but you give up a little bit of that middle. Those two linebackers really have to be talking. Play action to try and go underneath. And it's a great hit that jars the ball free. Credit DJ Woods, the middle linebacker, with the takeout.
Yeah, it looked almost like a play-action screen of sorts. It was just a very short throw just to the line of scrimmage, but good play by the LA defense.
The gun again is Holdorf. He'll just try and tuck it and run past the 20, trying to make a man miss at the 15-yard line, but taken down at the 15-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 4 with Fleming on the tackle.
Yeah, make it a 3rd and manageable, at least 3rd and 4. Another bunch formation, and again, we might see more of those crossing patterns. for San Diego.
On the one receiver on the far left side, Zach Holdorf going to look the other way. Finds a man on the out route who's going to waltz in for the opening score for the Wildcats. It's Jefferson with his second catch of the drive.
Yeah, and so far the offensive line of San Diego playing incredibly well. I mean, here in the first drive, nobody even close to Holdorf on those pass attempts. All day to throw, and throws a perfect pass for a touchdown.
Excellent route running. LA may be playing a bit too far off, and the Wildcats hitting him underneath. And it's our opening score. It's going to be 7-0 pending this extra point. It is up, and it is true, and it's good. It's officially 7-0 here as we take a look at your bingo numbers. Here for Hugo. Lots of numbers in the Dakota, Minnesota game. Unfortunately for Minnesota fans, you won't want to look at that final box score. But for those that play Hugo, keep an eye over there, as the winning cards are dubbed with horizontal bingos. So let us know how you're doing after the gauntlet and the first edition of Coast to Coast as we roll on here in week 3 of the UFL. So the almighty question now is, how do you respond after one team gets a score? How do you motivate yourselves to keep fighting? Even early on, it can be a test. Good little return to the far right side, near the 30-yard line, goes Fergus Henderson. And that is where LA, led by quarterback Ronnie Shanahan, will take to the field tonight. Five-step draw, pass middle, caught, up the field goes, all the way past the 50-yard line, a gain of 22 yards on the first play from scrimmage as the return man Henderson with the first grab of the night for LA.
I mean, for a second, I thought San Diego was going to be in position to intercept that pass and go the other way, but quickly snagged by the receiver. Very good pitch and catch, and also then the yards after the catch for a big play for the Aztecs.
A simple slant pattern that just opens up for him. San Diego caught off guard early, maybe expecting a run maybe from Allingham the third. He's got 32 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown in the young season. Pistol look as Shanahan looks near side, but overthrows an intended target, and that'll give us an opportunity to take a look at the Aztec offense. Ramos.
Yeah, for the Aztec offense, you know, a team that, you know, last season was mostly a running team with a couple of receiving targets. You know, I think Los Angeles has to kind of let it loose a little bit more. You know, kind of like the same way they did on that pass. It was a quick slant, getting big yards after the catch. I think the receivers have enough speed to make big plays.
Shanahan with already over 500 yards receiving in the young season. He continues to tally some more up here, connecting with a tight end, Lars Bazar.
Another wide open player. I mean, it just looks like San Diego's covering the boundary more than they are covering inside, and the Aztecs are just gashing them right now.
And just going to check it down underneath, and trying to find second gear is Ingram, but he's taken down rather quickly. And here's a look at the Wildcat defense here, Ramos, looking for more input from Scorch Henderson. Well, that's over on the opposite side. Looking more help from Zach Cobb, who's done a whole lot of help with 19 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 2 pass deflections. San Diego also helped out by an addition of outside linebacker Tyler Adams to the fold. That should certainly shore up the defense a little bit. As Shanahan takes a quick drop here on 2nd and 6 with time, looking right side, overthrows it. It's deflected nearly into the arms of the receiver. Interesting decision there to try and play volleyball with an opponent.
Yeah, I don't know if it just got away from him, but just threw it straight to the safety. That was very lucky for Los Angeles that didn't go the other way.
Shanahan looking for the out route, and again a little bit of missed timing and a couple of poor pass attempts leads to 4th down here for the Aztecs on the 32-yard line. They might just settle for 3.
Yeah, it should be field goal range here. Decent weather here in Southern Cal, so we'll see from 49.
From straight in between the hashes, and it's low, in no good. Interesting from Chris McKay, who's usually dynamite from there. But you see just here, it just slips underneath the crossbar.
It just did. It just did. I mean, it's not obviously it's not an easy kick to make. It's about a 50-yard field goal attempt, and just not enough leg on that one. And a big time stop here for San Diego, as you know, the Aztecs had a couple of explosive plays through the air, and now they make a stop, and they have a chance to go up 2 scores very early in this ball game.
And so here comes Holdorf. Back under center, able to lead his team down for a passing touchdown the last drive. He'll start from the air again, finding another open receiver for a good gain up to the LA 45-yard line. And these two teams met twice last season, of course, division rivals, and they both split the series, both home teams taking the wins last season.
Yep. And, you know, I think both teams come into this season, you know, thinking they can absolutely win the championship. You know, it's the Aztecs at points look like the best team in the UFL last season, in my opinion. You know, for the most part, I think it was Salt Lake, but, you know, San Diego, the Aztecs, there were times on offense, they were just unstoppable.
They try and pitch on a bunch. Good outside block, and that'll spring the tailback close to the line of gain, a gain of 8.
Really good blocking on the outside. Really good job by the offensive line getting out and making the blocks.
Now for the 38-yard line. 2nd and 2 for San Diego. Holdorf back to pass, looking deep down the seam. Caught and out of 2 tackles. Another touchdown for San Diego. It's McCray.
Wow. I mean, again, the offensive line, first and foremost, amazing job. Then great throw, and I don't know how he's not tackled, at least right there where he catches the ball. I mean, that's a good old hospital pass. And he just escapes away from both defenders, scores a touchdown, in San Diego is now up 2 scores and feeling really good about themselves.
Mike Denali and Mark Rogers look away. Just could not come up with a tackle in traffic, maybe bumping into themselves the same time as McCray, but it results in a touchdown for San Diego. They'll take it however they can get it. It's a 2-score lead, 14-0 Wildcats.
Wow, I mean, and you have to think, Tyler, that for the Aztecs, I don't know if they necessarily played bad here in the first, quarter. The offense was, doing really well, but the tackling has to be improved, for the remainder of this game. It just doesn't feel like the Aztecs are out of this just yet, right? They just need a good offensive drive to come, with some points, and they'll be right back in it.
Last time they met here in San Diego, it ended up being a Wildcat win. It was a very close ball game, 20-17. LA hoping to try and rekindle a little bit of that magic, but right now a slow start, and it looks like the Aztecs, after 2 comeback games, the first game of the season, they came back to beat Wichita, but they allowed Austin to come back into it last week and come away with a win from behind. Now they're gonna have to play from behind again. Maybe this is what they have to do. Maybe they've got to play from behind in order to rekindle some of that magic. As Shanahan looks for the underneath run to the outside, and the hit jars the ball free. Shanahan off to a 3 of 7 start.
Yeah. Yeah, and for San Diego, I mean, obviously defensively we talked about, the fact that, they gotta put pressure on the quarterback, right? That's exactly what they did.
And something has stung Ingram. Another slow start off the jump.
Yeah,
Wonder if
and
he's
just to continue.
okay.
Yeah, just continue with the thought. I mean, the rushing defense, again, on that play, really exceptional. Now it's 3rd and 8. Let's see if McDade can put some pressure here.
Shanahan gonna launch this one deep down the field in a double coverage. Incomplete. Oh my goodness, Shanahan was trying to connect with Henderson like he was trying to do it on the first drive, and they cannot connect, and the Wildcats come up with an impressive 3 and out.
Yeah. Very, very solid defense overall. I mean, no pressure really at all, and still every receiver was completely blanketed, including the double team deep down the field, and the Aztecs will have to punt it again.
So for the second time tonight, out comes Brian McCabe to punt this one away. It's a good punt. Fielded at the 16-yard line and trying to angle to the far sideline is the return man. He gets all the way up to the 30-yard line, a 13-yard return for Jefferson, who got the game started with a touchdown in case you missed it earlier. From that man, Zach Holdorf. Impressive start, 5 of 7, over 100 yards and both touchdowns. And we see more of him able to throw it out. 3 touchdowns before coming into the night, only 1 interception. He has run the ball quite a bit, which I think LA was trying to hold up for, but here comes the rushing attack by a true tailback to near the 50-yard line. It's Bryce.
And this offensive line is really impressing so far in this game. Pass blocking and run blocking. I mean, they're doing a great job. He's including the tight end getting on the outside, doing the kick block. And from there, it's just a wide open space for the running back.
Looking better tonight is Price after fumbling twice a week ago. And he's got his Wildcats' 3rd drive going in the right direction as we tick closer and closer under the halfway point now in the first quarter. And San Diego looking to open this one wide open. Floater near side is caught for a minimal gain.
Just a 1-yard gain, but the total yardage, I mean, so far San Diego really pulling away, 152 to 42 before this play, now 153 of against 42 for the Aztecs, and the scoreboard reflects that, right? 14-0 with a chance of going up 3 scores.
This is an in-state rivalry too, so we really can't say jet lag or really anything coming off the bus from LA, but you gotta wonder maybe they're still on the bus.
Yeah, I mean, they took the bus today, I'm sure, in the morning.
Another run near side as the tackle is made near the 45-yard line. Twice again, another good run and another excellent blocking scheme by that O-line.
Yeah, and again, making another manageable 3rd down and 3. You can even run it here.
Press covered on the outside as Holdorf looking right side. It's deflected and nearly intercepted. Jalen Carnes nearly came away with the tip drill, but instead the defense finally forces this potent offense off the field.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that, again, the Aztecs love to capitalize on, right? Those tip drill throws, those throws to the teeth of the defense, but they get a big-time stop, and they will get the ball back, just still down 2 scores.
And so the punt is away by Jimmy Smith, one of the rare contracted punters in the league, and it's a brilliantly down ball, and that's why he is contracted to San Diego. Excellent job by the Gunners, and LA's backed up deep.
Great job. I mean, offense, defense, and special teams all working extremely well for San Diego tonight, and this is obviously a prime chance for a safety even.
And what has already started out very harshly for the Aztecs tonight on offense, now they've got their work really cut out for them. Misdirection, that's a good run. That's going to be a 1st down, 10-yard gain by Al Ingram III. Now he's found 2nd gear.
Very good run, and very, very important play. If nothing else, to get out of your own 1-yard line.
2nd and inches officially, and they'll easily pick it up here by another Ingram run. There's about 3 here, and it'll be a brand new set of downs.
Just keep it going, right? I mean, they try to pass the ball, and they worked a couple of times. Have a balanced offense and try to bring the safeties down for San Diego. That is going to open up the explosive plays again.
Tight ends right. Wide receiver comes in tight here and looking right side. Shanahan with a man on the run past the 40, past the 50, and knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line. That's a massive pickup from Lars Bazar.
Yeah, and this could be a great, point in the game for Los Angeles, and one drive that can really turn the tide of this one. I mean, how much would it mean if, to go the length of the field and put some points on the board after, looking at probably a 21-0 deficit at some point right here in the first quarter. So, the Aztecs really need to capitalize on this drive for momentum's sake.
Just when they look down and out, this drive has gone very well. 54 yards on just a couple of plays. Corner route caught at the 22-yard line. Again, it's bizarre.
Now moving the ball in chunks, as just in a few plays, in just a handful of plays, they've been able to move the ball almost 80 yards already.
Quickly unlocking this Wildcat defense.
Great footwork on that play, and just like that, Tyler, I mean, now the total yards looks fairly even now.
Back to the ground game here. It's Ingram up the middle, untouched. Most of the way there, and he picks up 9.
Just run it again. I think here on 2nd down and 1.
Defenders playing well off, showing blitz, and here they come, expecting to run. They guessed right. Ingram tossed down and short. No gain.
I think with that kind of that kind of back, you have to run north-south. Just give it like straight up the gut.
3rd down and short. They'll run with Ingram. Easy 1st down, and it will not be Ingram. Actually, the backup, Victor Washington, the number 2 back, gets it done, and that'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter. Wildcats 14, LA nothing. But they're right on the doorstep of Pater. Can they punch it in for the first points of the game? You're watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Welcome back to San Diego. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn here in the booth with you, with Cameron over back at studio in production. Glad to have you with us here on Coast to Coast. The 2nd game of the Coast to Coast is in California, and that run on 1st and goal goes nowhere. Ingram eaten alive in the backfield by Zach Cobb.
Here's 2nd down and goal, maybe a play action. I'd like to see a play action, probably a rollout even.
Press coverage on the 3 wide receivers. 2nd and goal. They try again with Ingram through the middle, bouncing off a tackle, and they're home. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Al Ingram III.
That's a 98-yard drive to move the length of the field and score a touchdown. What a moment here for the Aztecs in this ball game. Great offensive drive, and a great job by the offensive line on that particular play. Just complete avenue right up the middle.
Just like that, they're going to chop halfway into this early deficit and try and tack home the extra point. Chris McKay trying to make up for that missed field goal earlier, comes away with the extra point, and it is now 14-7. Wildcats still in the lead here early. Get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. A Printful partnership, all made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at YOUFLshop.com. And we're back underway, back for the Wildcats to try and make a return. Instead, wisely taking in the end zone is the return man, Jefferson. As San Diego will look to start another drive. We looking at Payne Price, a couple of nice runs early, just 4 carries though. Oldorf sharing a couple of the carries as well tonight, but he has done a lot better, starting off a lot better than his week 2 game. Looking to continue it here as the wide receiver comes in tight on the right-hand side. Oldorf going to look underneath. That is caught for an easy pickup of about 5. Will be 2nd down.
And for San Diego, I think they have to slow the pace of this game and kind of like regain that control that they had, in at least during the first 6-7 minutes of the game, and have a long drive themselves.
Play action, but it's read well, but hold on. It's a face mask on the sack. Oh, it would have been a great tackle from Therese Jenkins. but he just got a little too handsy in the wrong area.
Yeah, that's too unfortunate here for the Los Angeles defense. I mean, from a 3rd and 13 to a 1st and 10, that is brutal. I mean, they read the play perfectly, as you said, and they had a big play in their hands.
So a free first down here for the Wildcats. Pass near side, nice grab. Looking back and hauling it in was Orleans Armstrong for 9 yards.
Good for 9. And this is where the ground game again can eat. They have the bunch set though. They've thrown mostly out of this bunch set.
2nd and 1, they'll elect to run and try and pick up the easy yards. That is Price, and that is a Wildcat first down.
Yeah, and I like it. You know, obviously, again, you're throwing passes out of that bunch set. So put again a passing formation and actually run out of it this time. Los Angeles is not expecting that one.
Quarterback blitz, pass right side wide open, and that's a first down. That blitz, they ran into each other and they all got caught up on their feet, allowing for McRae to be open and allowing for Holdorf to find him.
Great throw on the outside, really pinpoint accurate throw by Holdorf, and this is another really good drive for San Diego. Both offenses have looked really good here in the first half.
Wildcats still with the early 7-point lead. The passing game has been on display here from Holdorf, showing that he can use both his arm and his legs to get the job done. They'll try and run with Price. With the blocker in front of him. Price, with 1 man to beat, is taken down at the 25-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by Mark Rogers.
Yeah, very lucky. But again, the job of the offensive line. This is why this rushing game is so feared here in the UFL. It's maybe the best rushing attack in the league, and it's because of athletic offensive linemen right there. 73 kicking out to the outside and picking up the linebacker as well.
My apologies to Mike Denali, the strong safety with the tackle. Rogers, a different plane at the time. Run, Price, and crunched. Connor Fleming is there with a minimal stop.
Yeah, right. That time, really solid job by the LA defense, plugging all the holes.
Two tight ends, a wide out, and a tailback, and they'll try and run with the zone run, and Price out of 1. Price dragging a defender with him to the 5. Great running so far from the Wildcat, doing an excellent job getting him to 1st and goal.
And again, it's not only the blocking, but the explosive, speed of the running backs that they have, right? Is, especially obviously Price. It's just 0 to 100 in a second. It's so impressive to see.
He is one of the quickest backs in the game, and he's quick at getting up to his top speed as well, making him very dangerous in the ground game, and they're looking to punch it in here from about 5 yards out. Holdorf gonna go into the gun here. It'll be a delayed handoff, and untouched goes Corvin McNeil, and San Diego strike right back. They want their 2-score lead back, and they do.
Yeah, and what a job here for the Wildcats, right? I mean, after that last drive from the Aztecs, you will think probably the momentum of the game is shifting to the away team, but the home team takes it right back, and that has to be, demoralizing for Los Angeles. The defense, of course, but also the offense. The fact that they were finally finding the groove, and they will be right back on the field, still down 2 scores.
So here comes the extra points here for San Diego. Capolini, snap spot, kick is up, and it's good. It's 21-7. Wildcats retake their 14-point lead. But as we now know, and we see the new Hugo numbers come onto your picture, Ramos, LA, they found something in the last drive, and so now maybe we might see more of a gun show, or do you think LA's got something different planned?
I mean, I think they still have to keep the balance because it's still the first half of play. And so I think it's just too early to just say, you know what, we're just gonna be primarily a passing team. I think they're gonna have probably about a 60-40 ratio favoring the pass. But I think you still have to keep the defense of San Diego honest.
So another booming kickoff and another kneel down here in California. Air maybe a bit thinner here in San Diego. It seems like there's a swirling wind helping both kickers get the ball deeper down the field. We take a look at this last drive, and Lars Bazar, the tight end, had himself a drive. This big, long reception helped set up for the longer part of the drive.
Yeah.
Ready.
Let's see. Heavy set. I mean, they may try to at least run the ball here on first down.
A little bit of misdirection. Good push from Ingram as he gets the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 on first down.
2nd down and 4 coming up here for the Aztecs. Maybe play action here.
4-3 look on defense. Play action. Blitz coming. Shanahan lost the ball. Wildcats recover. And it's another touchdown for San Diego. The new man, Tyler Adams, with a touchdown on his debut.
Yeah, I mean, they were just not fooled at all. I mean, is that play action? And they just didn't go with a running back. They didn't care. You know, they knew they wanted to, the Aztecs wanted to hit him deep with a deep throw. And it's just not even a chance.
We talked about it in lineups. Adams coming in to try and help out Zach Cobb, and he does just that, recovering the fumble, and it's a 3-score lead for San Diego. Extra point is good, 28-7, Wildcats, and we're not even to the halfway point of the second quarter. Absolutely brutal, Ramos. Shanahan coming out, trying to get his team a little bit of momentum, trying to go back and repay San Diego what they did. Instead, he coughs up the football, and now they're in an even bigger hole.
Yeah, and again, it just looked 2 minutes ago, almost. You know, it seems like maybe 4 minutes ago that Los Angeles was finding the groove offensively, and it's like, okay, if they can get a stop here, you know, maybe the Aztecs will have the whole momentum to end the first half, and San Diego just push the finish line even further away from Los Angeles.
And for San Diego fans, you've been wondering where this scoring outburst has come from. This is the most points that the Wildcats have scored in any of their last 7 games dating back to last season. This is a very impressive showing from the Wildcats.
Yeah, it is. It is, and you know the defense now can maybe pin their ears back now. You know, because 21-7 is very different from 28-7. We immediately see shotgun from Los Angeles. We're gonna keep it on the ground though.
Ingram trying to get the momentum back on their side. That's a good run for 8.
Yeah, and I think the best case scenario for Los Angeles is kind of take the clock as much as they can, and try to be the last team to score before the end of the half and at least be within striking distance.
Play action and another sack. Oh, it just took too long on the play, and San Diego is all over that one, Zach Cobb.
Yeah, no, and it just looks like everybody's blanketed. I mean, first of all, by the time he's turning around, a defender is right over him, like all over him. And even if he wasn't, all the receivers are being very well covered down the field. It's really impressive showing here from the San Diego defense over the last couple of drives.
Ready? 18 Gator.
So 3rd and long now upcoming here for the Aztecs. A chance to flip the script. Pass deflected, incomplete. The trailing corner. And this time, safety Rashawn Favors with the knockdown, and the drive peters out again for the Aztecs.
Really good knock away, and now San Diego might have pretty decent field position now. I mean, this is some of the best football we've seen from any team. I mean, probably since the Austin Week 1 game. It's some of the most dominant. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, a couple of filthy juke moves by Jefferson. Is an impressive 11-yard return, and now out come the Wildcats again. Had an extended period on the sideline, and after the defense picked up points, now they're back out here, and now they're looking to continue this impressive start. It'll start with a run, trying to go to the outside, and he cannot escape. The Mike Denali tackle will be no gain.
Yeah, he just needed to keep that one inside. You know, I know you're trying to bounce it to the outside, try to get a big play, but you know, if he just keeps it inside, he's got pretty decent yardage.
Off Sinai, it'll be a handoff, and it'll be a decent run by Price, who gets him closer to the marker. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Third down and 5. They go empty. I was gonna say, I don't know if they will, you know, choose to run, maybe keep the clock running. They're staying aggressive.
Very interesting. Slot receiver not even covered,
Oh,
but it's
there you go.
overthrown by Haldorf. Is that the spark that the Aztecs needed? Naisha Ingram picks it off. Her first interception of the night.
Yeah, I know. Eventually, the Aztecs, you know, they're gonna get you. I mean, it's very impressive, you know, how they're able to come away with those interceptions. You know, because we see it sometimes with a lot of teams batting the ball away or whatever. They actually come away with the INTs. And as you said, probably the spark that they needed. They already have some good field position, and just the Aztec offense needs to wake up, and the offensive line needs to play better here to end the second quarter.
First pick of the night, first pick of the season for Ingram, as now in comes Al Ingram with a run up the middle, and that's a gain of 5.
Can try again, you know, to be the last team to score before the end of the half as the sun sets. Let's see if that doesn't affect with player visibility with the sun.
Possibly blinding their face, especially going into this angle. Play action. Shanahan with time. Near side. Receiver on a comeback route. Caught. And it's our first catch of the game by McKay Breeze for a first down.
Good job. Good patience right there. Good protection by the offensive line this time. Connecting with this open receiver. And just zone coverage. Pretty soft zone from San Diego on that play.
Well, it was more so they were playing hard flats on the outside, and Breeze just found the empty pocket of space between the deep corner and the linebacker playing underneath. So it's first down. RPO left side is caught, and that's going to maybe net them no gain. Good heads up defending, good awareness on the play from the Wildcat defense.
Come on, set. 94. 56. Rip right.
2 wide receivers now on second down. It'll be a run. Ingram caught behind the line, a loss of a couple as the Wildcats defense gets home. It's Julian Goodwin, the left end.
Again, trying to go to the outside to get some, to get an explosive play outside, but completely sealed by the defensive end.
And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. 28-7, Wildcats with the lead, but Aztecs driving. You're watching UFL on the Virtual Football Network. We're back in San Diego, 3rd and 12. Here for the Los Angeles Aztecs. Shanahan, plenty of time, just going to check it down and hope that a tailback can take it and run all the way up to the 38-yard line and no further. And we already saw Chris McCray miss one from just under 50 yards. I don't think they'll trot him out here for a 50-plus.
I don't think so. I mean, I think you either punt or go for it, but, you know, being 4th and 11, I think punting the football may be the better choice.
Here comes the Aztec special teams unit led by the punter, McCabe, who will try and pin San Diego deep. We saw San Diego punt, net them very well last time. This one off the helmet.
Oh, it's a touchdown.
And it's
a
a
muff.
touchdown because it was muffed. Oh, a little bit of puck luck for Los Angeles.
It's a muff.
Unbelievable.
It's a fumble because it hits obviously of the helmet of the punting team. Excuse me, they are the receiving team, and the Aztecs are right there to recover it for a touchdown.
Because the gunner was too focused blocking the Aztec gunner. It goes off his noggin, and the Aztecs with an unreal turn of events, and it's 28-14.
Oh, how about them apples?
UFL history being made here, Ramos.
I mean, when you think the Aztecs are kind of like at their lowest point, you know, we've seen it a couple times in this game, you know, down 14-0, you know, probably staring at 21-0 in the eyes, and this time now actually down 21 points, they just get a big time play that, or plays plural. I mean, they got the interception to stop the last San Diego offense, and now this play on special teams, and, you know, it's only, again, a 2-score game.
Antique accident saying that was not on my bingo card. And consider we're playing bingo over in a different realm here. That's I didn't even have that on Mark Lopez's bingo card, as that's a 27-yard return from Woods, as the Wildcats will look to try and come up with a little magic of their own.
Now, the San Diego stay aggressive here. I mean, they do have a minute 43 and 3 timeouts.
Shotgun formation here for Holdorf. Quick drop. Now just going to tuck in and run. Plenty of space. Couple of blockers. And he's turned down at the 43-yard line. Minute 34 and ticking to go. No hurry up yet. Still got plenty of time. No. And as we've been talking about, you know, leading up to the 2-minute and inside a 2-minute, that was... They're just trying to milk as much clock as they possibly can.
Let's go, defense.
Yep.
And pass deep middle.
Oh, man.
Open. And just like that, they flip the field. And the Wildcats, led by Ari Mills, find their way back into scoring position.
I don't know if that was like some sort of cover too. I mean, I think that was Tampa too, and the linebacker just didn't get deep enough. I mean, the middle of the field has to be covered by that middle linebacker, and he was just playing too shallow. Just not good situational football there for the Aztec defense.
Ready. 60 oars.
So with a minute to go, Wildcats at the Aztecs' 24-yard line. And Holdorf looking middle, caught again, no! Out of the hands and tumbling to the turf is the football, as Nicholas McRae couldn't haul it in. 271 yards, meanwhile, Ramos, for San Diego in this first half. An impressive onslaught to begin the game.
Yeah, I mean...
It's coming, out route caught, diving is McRae, and he's going to be denied a half-yard shy as San Diego call their first timeout. They have 2 remaining.
Yeah, and I think smart for San Diego to call a timeout there, because that opens up your offensive options as well, right? I mean, you're still outside of the 10-yard line. You're still at around the 15, actually at the 14. So keeping 43 seconds left gives you the opportunity to still run the ball, for example, here on 3rd and inches.
Tight end Mills, up man on the right side, 3rd and inches, draw, looking for Mills, he just overthrew him.
Yeah.
Oh, Holdorf's gonna want that one back. He had a wide open Ari Mills.
He sure did. That was a touchdown all the way. What a great play call by the offensive coordinator. He just completely overshot the ball. And call me crazy, I will still go for it, Tyler, maybe?
And they are.
Yeah.
They're not going to sleep on this momentum. They just need a half a yard. They can try and run for it. Holdorf could tuck it and run. Instead, he's going to float out, and it's going to bounce off the back plate. Aztecs hold firm.
I like the play call. I mean, I like the decision of going for it and staying aggressive and, you know, retaking the momentum of this game. I like that. And the play was good. It's a pass to the flat. The running back was open. It was just another bad throw for Holdorf, who had back-to-back really, really bad throws.
Now the Aztecs, possibly spurred on by their special teams miracle. Might they have something here with 37 seconds to go in the half? Shanahan just going to check it down here to Ingram, the third, out of one tackle and thrown out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 31 seconds to go.
Again, 3 timeouts for the Aztecs. I think this next play determines, well, actually, they're going to go in a heavy formation. I was going to say, if they can get about 20, 30 yards, you can think of maybe, trying to get in field goal range.
Run, and that'll be a timeout called by the Aztecs, down by 14. They'll have 2 remaining.
They do. Now, see if if it doesn't come back to bite them, right? Because, you're giving San Diego maybe a chance to, make a play, right? We've already seen a fumble recovery for a touchdown, for example.
We see a muff punt land in the gunner's hands for a touchdown. It'll be a draw, middle, Ingram, flag thrown. Another face mask tonight.
Defense.
And it goes on Mark Franks. First down at the 41-yard line of LA.
Automatic first down.
It is a 15-yard penalty, of course, so now they're not too far away, really. I mean, if they can get about 30.
Shanahan with time, looks left side, nearly picked. Oh, a dangerous throw again. Mark Franks, the man who had the penalty, comes up with a deflection there.
Come on, set. Send logo.
20 seconds to go in the first half now.
That was so close.
Pump once, Shanahan underneath, caught, short of midfield, and there's a second timeout by LA. There's 14 seconds to go. They only have 1 timeout remaining. These underneath routes aren't going to cut it.
No, they're not. I mean, if you want to get in field goal range, you may want to target the 30-yard line at worst. So they need about 20 yards.
A reminder, there are no spikes in the UFL, so this is going to have to go the distance. And there's an automatic 10-second runoff as well as the pass underneath. It's caught. It's past the 50-yard line, but it's not going to be enough. They're not even going to call their, no, they are going to call their timeout with 5 seconds remaining. Well, this is crazy territory for a field goal.
Yeah, no, they have to just chuck it to the end zone, right? One last play, 5 seconds. See if you can get a touchdown that way. I mean, just chuck it to the end zone and see what happens.
If they do even a tie tip, which they're not going to, it would have been well over a 60-yarder. And so here comes Shanahan for one more play. Time will expire. He's got time. He's going to check it down again to Ingram, who's out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. And that is how the first half ends. Luckily for the Aztecs, they get ball first to start the second half. And it's been a very one-sided game for the most part for one offense, but we just can't keep LA out of it with a couple of surprises of their own.
Yeah, for both teams, a lot of ups and downs. San Diego, of course, offensively has been a machine so far in this game. For the Aztecs, it's been a couple of interceptions and a big play on special teams that has kept them afloat. San Diego also had that recovery fumble for a touchdown. So we've seen touchdowns in many different ways so far here in the first half, and now in the second half, we'll see if Los Angeles can pull closer or if San Diego's going to win this one at home.
And so we'll welcome you back here to the Bay Area, here in San Diego. Tyler Falk and Ramos Lynn on the call with Cameron Irvine back in production. Welcome you back for the second game of Coast to Coast here in the UFL, here on the Virtual Football Network. Glad to have your company. Hope you're enjoying the game. Hopefully you're getting a Yugo. Keep an eye out for those numbers at the bottom of your screen in between every score as we are back underway. LA to receive the second half opening kickoff. And here comes the return from the goal line. And this one, up to the 24-yard line. Pretty decent return for Los Angeles as their offense comes back out of the field, and they will not have the pressure of a 2-minute drill situation, so a chance to run their offense is normal to get back in this one, only down by 2 scores.
70, Indy.
Yep.
Not been able to run the ball too effectively, so they'll see them to try play action rollout, pass left side, deflected, incomplete. Couldn't call it in. Was the intended receiver Edgerton Norton, and it nearly got into the hands of one of the Wildcats, but man, did he take a lick.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And so, 2nd and 10, another pass here from Shanahan. Good pocket, now tucking and run, sneaks by the linebackers, and slides down for a gain of 7.
Well, at least he can keep it a 3rd and doable here on 3rd down and 3. Pro set, maybe a quick slant top of the screen.
High formation, 8 defenders in the box. It'll be a pitch
Oh.
to the near side. Ingram's got to go, and he can't. Well read by San Diego's Rashawn Favors. And that will put a quick end to the LA drive.
Yeah, well read and a little bit too slow developing of a play, and there's just not enough blocking on the outside. There's nobody there really, but San Diego defenders. So that one really had no chance.
And for Ingram, we've seen him get slowed down a little bit today, just on some of these plays, just not able to kick it into high gear quick enough. Still one of the top speeded halfbacks in this game, but just sometimes struggling to get out of the gate, and the Wildcats will take full advantage as Zach Holdorf leads his troops back out onto the field. Pretty solid day for him, 11 and 18, 2 touchdowns. Has the 1 lone interception that Naisha Ingram called in earlier. After that, pretty decent ball game. Slant over the middle, caught, and they're up to the 31-yard line. Good pitch and catch from Holdorf to his man, Kyron Rucker.
San Diego now near 300 yards total in this game, and we are just starting the 3rd quarter. Just like how Holdorf has, at least on the underneath throws, has made the right decision most of the times, right? It's mostly been just a couple of deep throws that have been off target, but in the crossing routes, he's been able to pick up the right receiver and make decent throws.
Closing in on 200 passing yards is Holdorf. He's going to tuck it and run, and runs right into Jenkins for his 2nd sack of the game.
Man, and that's the thing with mobile quarterbacks, Tyler. You may think they don't get sacked as much because they are mobile, but it's the opposite. I mean, they sometimes tend to run into sacks, as it happened there, and the Aztec defense has a chance to get off the field.
Possibly because they're more eager to run, Ramos? Is that why they try and get more sacks?
Yeah, they just run into defensive ends and defensive tackles a lot when that happens. Because as an offensive line, it's very hard to predict where the quarterback is going to go, right? So, and you're not looking at the quarterback, you're giving the back to the quarterback. So that's when defensive ends and defensive tackles can react.
Price got the carry on 2nd down, setting up this 3rd and 8. And the Aztecs get off the field. Pass over the middle, and the in route is caught near the logo. And it's an easy 1st down for San Diego. Nicholas McCray finding holes in the zone as San Diego tip over 300 yards and 200 passing yards.
A great throw, another really good. Again, especially in those short and intermediate routes, in between the hashes, has been very, very accurate. That one about a 10-yard dig, great throw, and good yards after the catch.
Fresh set of downs here for the Wildcats. Holdorf will hand off up the middle to the 45-yard line. Goes Price, a gain of 6.
Just taking some good time off the clock here too. San Diego really trying to take full control of the 3rd quarter.
We'll say officially 5, and so it's 2nd and 5. Another run upcoming. Good blocking, and another 1st down for San Diego as Price continues his good day, looking for another 100-yard rushing performance.
Nice counter play. And just the blocking is sensational right there by the guards who pulled and getting, picking up the right guy. Just a complete highway for the running back to run through.
Wide receiver in tight. Oldor for the four-man rush, stepping deeper and deeper. Now going to tuck in and run outside.
Oh, man.
He's got a lane. He slides inside the 20, down at the 17-yard line. That is how dangerous he can be if you don't put a spy or anybody watching the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about having the mobile quarterback, right? Getting you out of jams. There's nobody open down the field, and when you have an athletic quarterback like Oldorf, that's a play that he can make, and not every quarterback in the UFL can make that type of play.
Trap play, good run up the gut. Gets them near to the first down. It is a first down run for McNeil. And what more can we say, Ramos, about these old linemen doing a stellar job tonight?
Stellar. I mean, they've been able to really do well on the run, and pass protected has been really, really good also.
Aztecs showing blitz. Here they come. Hurdle from Price. Gets a couple extra yards, and he holds on to the football. He'll say he got to the 2.
So 2nd and goal. Give it another shot, I believe. Just run right up the middle one more time at least.
The line bunch again, expecting something up the middle, and denied is Price as the linebackers crash in off the edge.
Big down here for the LA defense.
Heavy set versus heavy set. From the 2-yard line, Holdorf gonna try and give it up, and Price couldn't get it. Taken down to the very last second by Bullups and company, and it's 4th and goal at the 1.
I think it's worth another look, maybe on a replay, but like a challenge actually. See if we can get a better angle here.
Oh, I think he's well
short. Yep. But I think he's short. I think it's a good call. And I think it's also a good call to kick the field goal here in this situation.
From the right hash. Snap spot kick is up, and it's back out to an extended lead for San Diego. A 17-point for the Wildcats, who we mentioned earlier are scoring more than they have been in nearly half a season. A very welcome sight for the San Diego faithful. This might be Coast to Coast this week, but next week on UFL Coast to Coast, Los Angeles visit Chicago before a championship rematch in Dakota between the Rhinos and the Talons. Monday in prime time, the Battle of New York sees the unbeaten Lightning face the winless Pioneers, who would love nothing more than to spoil their rivals' perfect season. That's next time in the UFL Spotlight. We are back underway here in this 3rd quarter, and the kickoff taken back for a kneel down by Henderson as the offense for LA trots back out in the field, and they are going to need another spark to get them going. We thought it might be special teams that got the touchdown earlier, but it just so hasn't happened for them so far in the 2nd quarter. Only their 2nd drive. Wildcats with an impressive long drive. The last one is Ingram. Gets a couple of blocks, trying to make another man miss, and nearly gets out of that tackle. Had to be gang tackled at the 39-yard line. Otherwise, he would have been gone.
Yeah, he was one broken tackle away from going the distance. Really good job by him just to keep pushing forward. Really good run.
After the productive play to get them the first down, this play will come out of the bunch formation. Shanahan, middle, caught in the crossing pattern. Henderson to the San Diego 36.
Really good throw. Good blocking again by the offensive line. I mean, it's just a clean pocket. Good job on the crossing route, and a breakdown on the San Diego defense, because they had 7 people covering, and just in the in the intermediate zone, there was just nobody there.
Plenty of yards now here for Los Angeles in this drive. Can they capitalize?
Exit, exit.
3:12 and ticking here in the third quarter. They start with an offset eye. Shanahan going to look for an angle route. That is caught. And down at the 21-yard line. First time we've seen the fullback Warwick Wallach with a 16-yard grab.
And they need contributions from everybody. You know, if they want to win this game, they'll need everybody to step up to make this comeback happen. And that's a really big-time play here in this game to put Los Angeles in a good position to potentially get a touchdown here and get just within a score.
Let's go now. 70, Indy. Ready to go.
Brand new set of downs again for the Aztecs in this drive. Doing a really good job of marching quickly down the field. Shanahan, middle, caught another in route, and that one's going to get it to the 5-yard line. First and goal, courtesy of Javon Muhammad.
Another crossing route. They're finding something there with those crossing patterns. Los Angeles is, you know, it starts with a safety covering, but then the safety kind of continues backpedaling, and there's just no linebackers or any other safeties in the area.
Goal line eye. Trips tight end left. Shanahan with time. He's going to have to try and do it himself. Looking for the outside, looking for a block. He won't need one. Touchdown! Los Angeles, first rushing touchdown of the season for Ronnie Shanahan.
It just looked for a second that he had an open receiver in the end zone right in his view of sight, but he just took off on the outside, and let's see if he stays in bounds. I think he does.
Hits the pylon with his foot.
Yeah.
And that should result in a touchdown, and it does. And so here comes the extra point here for Los Angeles. Snap spot, kick is up and good from McCray. And it's a 10-point ball game in San Diego. We know following the UFL action every weekend can be daunting. The best place to catch anything you missed is UFL Highlights every Tuesday on VFN, giving each and every game the highlight recap you deserve. Catch the UFL this week on the Virtual Football Network. Now just 10 points separate San Diego and Los Angeles. Ramos, can this defense for the Aztecs respond to the call?
They need a big play again, I think, right? I mean, it's still a lot of time left, and, you know, a stop is really good as well, but, you know, it kind of just feels like San Diego's going to hit another spurt of, like, scoring points so at some point in the second half. So they need a big-time play.
Come on, fellas.
And so the return gets up to the 24-yard line, and that is where San Diego will take over. A very good day from Price. At or over 100 yards here tonight, and he's back in the backfield with a bunch set off to his left. Price will get the call, dragging the lineman with him up to the 28-yard line.
Five here, and this running game is really clicking. 167 yards on the ground here for the Wildcats.
Quick drop, quick throw, incomplete. Rucker couldn't haul it in. Maybe got scared of the linebacker in front of him.
Yes, and you know, in today's NFL, you cannot hit those receivers anymore. You get hit with a defenseless receiver, but he could have absolutely killed the wide receiver.
Rush, here comes Holdorf again. Calls his own number, but he slid too soon. 4th and inches.
Obviously, it's when he starts to slide, but it's worth a challenge if I'm San Diego.
Oh, this is tough, and they're not going to go for it. Aztecs come out with a break. Under a minute to go in the third quarter, and it backspins. San Diego with another impressive punt from Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, very impressive. Very, It's just a great punt. Los Angeles, though, I mean, they've been in kind of this situation before, been able to move the ball the length of the field. Let's see if they can do it again.
So the Aztecs, last time they were backed up, they marched all the way down the field for a touchdown, and that's a good run again. Starting off hot. It's a gain of 8 on first down. This might be the final play of the quarter. Another run. Ingram just going to keep churning his legs forward up to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 as we close up shop on the third quarter. San Diego 31, Los Angeles 21. This game's getting exciting. It seems Los Angeles this season might be known as either the comeback kids or the comeback allowers, but it won't matter. They're looking to come back and get their second win of the season. San Diego trying to stop them for their second win of the season. Get your scores up and chat. This is the UFL Coast to Coast on the Virtual Football Network. Welcome back to San Diego. Tyler Falk, Ramos Lynn. Let's strap yourselves in, everybody. We're in for one more quarter of football. That one jarred free. Shanahan looking for a diving Sir Jefferson. Reject that, not Sir Jefferson. My apologies to Fergus Henderson.
56, right there, 56.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Ready?
Now 2nd down. Shanahan
great throw.
finds his receiver at the 45, down to the 47-yard line. Now he's over 200 yards. Third catch for Henderson tonight.
One of the best throws we've seen this game from either quarterback, to be honest. Really good anticipation, putting that ball in the money in between the two defenders.
That's exactly what the doctor had ordered for Los Angeles. Off tempo, off rhythm on first down. They get right back on schedule with that throw. Shanahan in the gun. Looking over the middle. That is caught. And out of a tackle. Still nice move. And he's taken down by a fast mass. McCabe Reeds with a beautiful couple of moves. And he will get an extra 15 for his troubles.
Oh, what an individual play right there, as the only way to stop him was by the face mask. And the Aztecs, after starting backed up in their own side of the field, again find themselves near the red zone.
I think our only penalties of the game have been face masks here tonight. Our third call here this evening. Floater to Ingram, the tailback. He's only able to get up to the 20-yard line and pick up 2.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice hit, boy.
All right, now moving into the red zone, and this is right where you need to be. A field goal or touchdown helps them and brings it into a one-score game, Ramos.
Yep, it absolutely does, with a lot of time left still in this game.
Let's go.
Bunch look, left-hand side. They try and go power right with Ingram, who gets bottled up behind his own lineman, trying to push the pile, and he gets only 3, bringing up 3rd and 5 with McDade on the tackle. And it's a big third down upcoming for the San Diego defense. Shanahan gonna look to throw, looking middle, caught! Slots it between the two linebackers for a first down, and it's 1st and goal for Lars Bazar, who has been quiet here in the second half.
It's another great throw and really good ball positioning on that one, just getting it up high, exactly where his big receiver can get it, and not the defender. And now they go in some sort of full house offense.
Pistol full house, fullback left, tight end right, and the tailback behind, looking for the extra block. Good move, and it's a touchdown for Los Angeles. Victor Washington waltzes home, and it's just a 4-point game.
Beautiful call. I mean, it's kind of like a counter play going to the weak side, and the blocking is perfect for Washington. Look at the blocks there by the wide receiver, then the kick by the offensive lineman, and open space for the end zone.
And so here comes the extra point from McCray. And he'll slot it home. That is good. 31-28. At one point, the Wildcats led by 21, and that lead has come all the way down to 3. That was the 50th offensive play for the Aztecs tonight with a 30-pass-20 run ratio. And just like that, this LA Aztecs team might have crawled all the way back, but it's now up to that man there, Holdorf, and the rest of the Wildcats offense to maybe milk some clock and get some more points.
Yeah, and you know, we kind of said it at the beginning of the broadcast. You know, at points, you know, especially last season, the Aztecs at points looked like they couldn't be stopped. Like the offense looked completely, you know, unstoppable, and you know they bring some of the pieces back, and it's very dangerous at some points. And San Diego now has the pressure.
Here's the return. Stood up at the 24-yard line. And no further. Decent return, averaging nearly 25 is Jacoby Woods. And here comes Holder. Hasn't been able to air it out a whole lot tonight, but he's been effective. That early slide, though, on the last play of the drive, ultimately costing his team a first down. Now here comes a pass on the near side. Open and turning upfield. First down for the Wildcats. And that's moving them in the right direction. Price on the flip out.
Down in 10. Yeah, keep it on the ground. Keep tiring this LA defense. Control the possession of the ball and the time.
Good run from Price. 3 defenders have to bring him down.
And eventually Los Angeles will have to put an extra player in the box to try to stop this run.
Heavy look now on offense. They'll try and pass out of a deep drop. Holdorf left side, caught on the run. Down inside the 30-yard line goes Ari Mills.
What a play. A couple of big-time plays for Ari Mills on deep passes. 3 catches, but for 76 yards so far in this game. It's another one of those crossing routes, and Holdorf has been money on those.
Only 3 times. They've all been impactful, long receptions, which is more often than not here tonight, led to points for the Wildcats. And right now, they are definitely in field goal range as at San Diego, they're trying to air out again. 5 wide, and Holdorf gonna take off and run, trying to angle and slide out of the 23-yard line.
Down in 5. In this scoring position, they might come with the inside blitz. Maybe an outside run will be good here for San Diego.
Instead they'll go to the left.
Ooh.
And caught quickly as Price. Heads up play by Ernie Phillips.
Yeah, very much so. It's not easy at all trying to shed the block and then immediately make the tackle on one of the shiftiest running backs in the UFL. Completely just sheds the block and one-on-one brings him to the ground. That's very, very, very hard to do.
San Diego forced to go into the gun here on 3rd and 6 from the Aztec 24-yard line. LA needs a stop. 4-man rush. Holdorf gonna try tuck it and run. He's caught from behind. Cameron Curse ends the drive and keeps it a 1-score lead for the moment.
It makes it a very, very difficult field goal attempt. You have to think, Tyler, this is going to be about a 40... Well, it's going to be probably about 45 yards. We have seen missed kicks so far in this game, though.
We saw one earlier miss from Chris McKay from just inside 50 yards. This one from 43 from the right hash for Shane Capolini, and Capolini's kick is up and good. And it's a 6-point lead for San Diego as we kick closer to the midpoint of the 4th quarter, and it's still anybody's game.
It is. And with in a way, you know, the Aztecs, even though they're trailing, they have to play or have to feel kind of, you know, pretty confident because they're playing with house money here, right? They're on the road. They were down by 21 points at some time in this game, and right now the pressure, it's all on the Wildcats to hold this lead.
My apologies to Jimmy Smith, who told Kathleen to take a sit on the on the bench as the punter comes in to knock home that long kick. So hats off to the punter for pulling double duty tonight as the return gets up to the 23-yard line from Henderson. That is where LA will start this drive, and they've been off to a hot start here in this second half. Climbing back into this game, Ramos, so now it's up to Ronnie Shanahan and company to finish it off here.
Yeah, it is. He has to take care of the football and make the right decision.
Pressure coming as Shanahan finds Ingram on the outside for a pickup of 4.
That's the right decision there. I mean, you don't have to win the game in one play. You know, take the yards when you have them.
Done for Shanahan. 4-man rush. Plenty of time for Shanahan. Underneath caught and out of a tackle at the 45. Making defenders miss. To near the 50-yard line goes Orleans Armstrong.
And the offensive line, I mean, it's been a massive improvement here for the Aztecs here in the second half.
They're going to go no huddle, try and catch the Wildcats off guard. Shanahan looking again near side. That one's caught near the midfield stripe and turning upfield and out of bounds. Ingram the third for a 4-yard gain. That should stop the clock.
It will. 5 minutes and 11 seconds left. Now the clock runs because we are, you know, still not at the 5-minute mark.
Shanahan, middle, caught at a 35-yard line. Again, it's Armstrong. Check that, Muhammad. My apologies.
Yep. In a weird way, now Los Angeles, they're still 35 yards out, but they don't want to give San Diego a whole lot of time to answer back if they have to score.
Pass right, caught by Bizarre. Near the line to gain. 2nd and 1. Going really up tempo here. They want a touchdown. They want their defense to close it out for them, it would seem.
Yep. I'll run it here on 2nd and 1.
It'll be a pass. Blitz coming. Pass right side. Overshooting Muhammad that time.
Well, similar to that Holdorf misfire from first half.
Back to the gun goes Shanahan. They just need a yard here on 3rd down. Shanahan's got to get rid of it and does. Looking near side, and he overled Lenaric Rancher the second. And it's 4th and 1 with 4:20 to go.
Completely out of bounds. No doubt about it.
They're going to
2nd
go
and
for
1. Yeah, you have to.
4th
have
and the
to.
length of a football. Shanahan underneath, caught on the spacing pattern. And they're inside the red zone. They convert on 4th down.
Yeah, really love the spacing pattern on that play. Really, really do. I mean, they had about 6-7 players right there at the line. Love the spacing pattern.
Play action. Shanahan to the outside. Caught at the 1. Fancher makes up for the catch out of bounds, and he puts LA literally on the doorstep.
How many times are we going to see teams getting to the 1-yard line in this week of the UFL? I mean, it feels like this is like the 10th time today.
Take a look again. Plenty of control. Should not see a challenge here on this one. And now it comes down to this, the nitty-gritty. 3:56 to go. One side end left, 2 wideouts right. They try and run. Forward Ingram is denied at the 1.
I mean, low key, I mean, that's not terrible for Los Angeles, as long as they can put the ball in the end zone, of course, because, you know, the clock still ticks down and San Diego will not have a whole lot of time.
Hurry up, they're going to try and throw. Shanahan sacked at the 7. Cedric Blassingame.
Faster, faster.
And they're back out there in the gun. 3rd and goal for the Aztecs. Blitz coming. Shanahan, touchdown! Fincher, the second wide open, and we are tied.
Wide open. I mean, I don't understand how he gets that wide open inside the 10-yard line. It was, again, another complete like miscommunication or just mishap by somebody in the secondary. And 3 catches for Fancher on this drive.
Gets them the lead. McCray tacks home the extra point. And from being down 21 points, the Aztecs take the lead with 3:14 to go here in San Diego. Shanahan went 8 of 11 on that drive alone. Nearly picture perfect at the right time for the Aztecs.
Wow, what a comeback and what a game we've had.
And if you all left after the Minnesota-Dakota game, A, I don't blame you, but B, glad you're sticking around for this one. This is definitely the feast you were waiting for after that appetizer. And now San Diego. This game not out of reach yet. Any amount of points for the Wildcats will give them the lead right back, and they're gonna need that entire team. Price,
Yep.
Holdorf, Mills,
50, plant.
Rucker, everybody's gonna have to contribute here. They just need to get to near the 35-yard line. Holdorf with time, looking left side, caught the 40, up the field, and Mills fumbled! Ari Mills fumbled the football! LA take over!
What a heads-up play by the defender. He just stripped it right from Ari Mills' arm. He just went for the ball. He understands the situation of the game. Ari Mills is looking the other way, and he just strips it right from him. And that's Mike Denali with the strip.
Heck of a play from Denali, jarring it free, and now LA can go on cruise control.
Here we go. 50-60 outlaw.
Wow.
3:07 to go. San Diego gonna need to stop and quick. We might even see them burn their timeouts. Shanahan, middle, caught in traffic to the 20-yard line. Shanahan with a beautiful pass to Henderson for 25 yards.
Well, check that. That is the best pass of the game tonight. I mean, it's, you know, the moment of the game, the fact that it's in between 3 receivers, and what a catch by Henderson. I mean, just completely covered by everybody.
Set, 18, game.
And so over the 20-yard line, 2:35 to go and ticking.
Come.
Shanahan with a man in motion, gets it off in time. Play action. Shanahan, right side, caught inside the 10. Timeout called by San Diego. As it's 1st and goal, Aztecs.
Yeah, I was going to say, he really did a good job not getting out of bounds there.
Down by 21, then down by 17 later.
Come on, set. 30 base.
And right now, the Aztecs looking to take the lead or keep this lead. Basically, for the first time since the opening score, flip out wide open is Ingram, but he steps out of bounds.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
timeout
bad
for
news.
San Diego.
Yep, that was the bad news on that play. Good decision by Shanahan. It just looks like he threw it half a second too late.
Defense for San Diego breathing a sigh of relief, but 2nd down here in the goal-to-goal situations has been kind. It's 3rd and goal, which has hurt them.
15 line. 56. Watch the pass. Go.
Pressure being shown by the Wildcat defense on the far side. They'll try and run up the gut, and the Wildcat defense comes up with a takedown. Brian Owens, the free safety, and they call their second timeout.
What to do here on 3rd and goal at the 10? I mean, obviously you want to put a touchdown on the board. It's just a very, very difficult situation here for the Aztecs. They just may run it here. I will not be
Regardless
surprised.
what happens here, the clock will stop before the 2-minute warning. Run, untouched, Al Ingram the 3rd, with possibly the exclamation point on this comeback.
Touchdown City.
Wow, what a job on the blocks on the outside. I mean, that's exactly how you draw it up during first day install. I mean, that's insane blocking by the Aztecs O-line.
And so LA looking to tack home the extra point that would see them go up by the largest lead they've had tonight, would be 8 points. Snap, spot kick is up. McRae's field goal is good. 42-34 in this high scoring affair. Wildcats have 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning.
I mean, plenty of time. I mean, time is not an issue here for San Diego with a 2-minute timeout and their own timeout. But I think they need a good return. They need some momentum and a spark from their special teams unit.
A field goal won't cut it. That's what would happen if Ari Mills hadn't fumbled the football on the last drive. They could have gone for a field goal to take the lead. Now they have to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. Worst case scenario for the Wildcats in a game in which they have scored the most amount of points in over half a season. It all comes down to this. Will all this scoring be for naught for the Wildcats, or they have a little magic left in them? 2:10 to go in regulation. Hold for start in the gun. Plenty of protection to try and tuck it and run. Looking to the outside, up the numbers, and he's taken down. And the clock will reach the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in San Diego, where the Wildcats make a comeback of their own. For everything UFL, visit the official league website at UFL Football. See the UFL.football to claim a player, learn more about the league, catch them on news and features, and dive into leaderboards. UFL.football in partnership with Sidearm Sports. As Ari Mills fumbles again for the 2nd drive in a row. He just gave the game to Los Angeles, who will walk out of San Diego with a 21-point come-from-behind victory.
And he's the same player who forced it again, isn't he? It's Denali again. And for as good as Ari Mills was playing, I mean, a couple of nightmare drives for the receiver. I mean, you have to feel bad for him. And if you're San Diego, I mean, you're shook right now. I mean, there's no way you're not winning this game.
And here comes the run. It's a first down. Timeout called by San Diego, but it won't matter. The Wildcats fall. They had it all, and they gave it all to Los Angeles with an impressive turnaround in the second half to get this game back for them after a week 1 come-from-behind victory. They gave it away to Austin last week as Austin came from behind to win, and it all started with a muffed punt touchdown for the Aztecs. Unreal.
And what we talked about at the start of the broadcast, pretty much really everything happened for both teams, right? San Diego running the ball well. We know San Diego runs the ball well. You know, Los Angeles at points can be unstoppable. you know, and the Aztecs defense just forces a lot of turnovers. They've done it for, you know, now it's a big sample size of about, you know, 20 games that we've seen Los Angeles between last season and this season, and a high-scoring affair. And I mean, it's one of those, you know, and we saw it with the Aztecs again last season. There were a couple of games they had no business winning really at points, and they just explode into 1,000,000 points.
It was 28-7, and then the Aztecs went on a 35-6 run, which sees them winners in week 3, and they moved to 2-1. San Diego fall to 1-2. An impressive day from both squads. Wildcats, with one of their highest scoring performances in recent memory, fall just short to the Aztecs with a brilliant performance. Lots of positives that both sides can take away. An excellent game from both squads and an excellent cap to coast to coast.
I mean, look at that second half, 28-6 for the Aztecs. Just a crushing defeat for the Wildcats.
We take a look at all of it again. Tyler Adams comes into San Diego. He gets a touchdown on his debut off of a fumble from quarterback Ronnie Shanahan. A couple of takeaways forced by both squads, 4 of them forced by the Aztecs, including 2 R.E. Mills fumbles forced by Mike Denali, who put a nail in the coffin of the Wildcats tonight. He'll be loving that. But Holdorf and company are headed back to the drawing room. What a beautiful night of football here, Ramos. I'm looking forward to more on Monday night after the SFL Monday Night Spectacular. We hope you join us then for more UFL action. Until then, he's Ramos Lynn, back in studio with the Commissioner Kevin Irvine, and I've been Tyler Falk. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you then. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.